Trojan football is on the air. Go!
After a big road win last week where Southeast of Saline clinched not only a league title but also a district championship, the Trojans are back at home to begin their playoff adventure. Tonight, coming into the Trojans' den is the Chaparral Roadrunners. The Roadrunners and the Trojans met up last year, only it was week 2 of the playoffs. This year, same thing, just a week earlier, and instead of in Saline at Kansas Wesleyan, it's right here at the Trojan Den. Tonight, it's the Roadrunners visiting the Trojans on KINA.
This is Countdown to Kickoff for Southeast of Saline Trojan football on KINA Sports. Coming up, you'll get a preview of area games, analysis on tonight's matchups, and hear from the coach. Now, let's head to the stadium. Countdown to Kickoff starts now. On KINA and worldwide on Salina Post.
Good evening and welcome in to Southeast of Saline's campus at Steve Fritz Field. My name is Devin Haney. I'll have play-by-play of tonight's playoff contest along with Russ Gossel in the booth. Big Sam Pretty back at Studio Central at the KINA Studios, Seagull Radio Salina, and providing live stream video for tonight's contest on SalinaPost.com is Brian Dennett. Well, what was supposed to be an electrifying game and one of the best small school football games in the state last week lived up to that billing for 2 quarters. 8-0 was the score at halftime. Southeast of Saline led on the road at Ellsworth. Then Southeast of Saline busted the game wide open. It started with the first defensive possession in the second half. Southeast of Saline forced Ellsworth off the field. Then the Trojan offense took over, and they scored 22 unanswered points in the second half to win the game 30-0. I think it's appropriate that we pause before we enter the playoff action and take a look at some of the accomplishments that will live on even into next season. That win for Southeast of Saline, the longest winning streak in regular season games in the state of Kansas in 11-man football. Now 32 regular season wins for head coach Mitch Gebhardt and this Southeast Trojan football team. They also have 20 straight road wins in the regular season. Including the playoffs, they are now 24-3 on the road since 2018. That win for the Trojans also gave them their 12th league title in school history. The NCAA started somewhere around 1994, so that's a good number of wins in that time, about half of the years. 9th league title under head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Also the 6th NCAA title in a row. As far as district plays, this is the 4th consecutive district championship for the Trojans of Southeast of Saline. Now they enter playoff action, and for Southeast of Saline tonight, it's a familiar foe left over from last year, the Roadrunners of Chaparral. This is a different group, though, than what came in to Kansas Wesleyan's campus 1 year ago. This group from Chaparral, not as seasoned, and they're not as good. When you look at the record, just 1 win this year, and that was a win over the Douglas Bulldogs. Just 1 week earlier than what it was this time a year ago, Southeast of Saline will still have to take care of business here against the Roadrunners and defend their home turf. We'll talk to Mitch Gebhardt about that coming up in segment 3. Coming up next, we'll take a pause back and check with Tyler Henry. We'll see what's going on in this Class 2A playoff action. We will also get you updated on some matchups that we're keeping an eye on as we enter the playoffs here in what Keisha calls this affectionately week number 9. Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you by L&L Advisors. We are in the open enrollment time for Medicare and changes in your plan. You may be enrolled, but things may have changed. Your doctor may not even be in the network that you're currently enrolled in. That would be alarming to find out. Contact the experts at L&L Advisors, 2 locations in Salina and 1 in McPherson, a proud supporter of the student athletes at Southeast of Saline. Countdown to Kickoff rolls on when we come back worldwide on Salina Post and locally right here on KINA.
Are you looking for a local brokerage firm to help you with your Medicare, life insurance, and annuities? L&L Advisors is the #1 local Medicare supplement and insurance specialist. Medicare can be confusing. Let the experts at L&L Advisors help make sense of it. Stop by one of 3 locations in Salina or McPherson and speak to an agent about the needs of your family. L&L Advisors, main office at 717 Roach right off Crawford and in the Central Mall Salina and downtown McPherson. Based on honesty and trust, contact L&L Advisors today.
Fall is full of great activities that keep us on the road. When you return to home sweet home, your sewer backing up into the house is the last thing you want to find. Now is the time to dial up Saline Septic Service and their 24-hour service. They will find the problem, fix the problem, and prevent future problems with the Septic Plus Protection Club. Special pricing and worry-free maintenance. Saline Septic Service, taking care of you now and preventing septic problems in the future. Find them online at salinasepticservice.com.
Time now for tonight's scouting report for Southeast of Saline football.
Here on Countdown to Kickoff, it's brought to you by L&L Advisors. It is week number 9, basically first round of the playoffs in Class 2A. And around the state of Kansas, playoffs got started last night with some other schools. But tonight, the meat of the action is getting ready to take off, and our chance here to look behind enemy lines, brought to you by Saline Septic Service. Tyler Henry joins us now. And Tyler, first of all, when we get into this week, we'll pause on that, but look back to last week, a completion of another perfect regular season for Southeast of Saline. I've said it a few times now. The NCAA got formulated as a league in the 1994-95 school year, so less than 30 years ago. And the football side of things, that's the 12th league title for the Trojans overall. It's the 9th league title under head coach Mitch Gebhardt. It is the 6th consecutive league title for head coach Mitch Gebhardt. It's also the 4th consecutive district championship in Class 2 or 3A under head coach Mitch Gebhardt. And I think we need to recognize that before we get into the fog of what is the playoff bracket. Just stopping it down now and realizing what exactly has gone on. And oh, by the way, that regular season win streak, which is the longest in 11-man football, will live on until next season.
I mean, it really is the Mitch Gebhardt effect. And I think the thing that a lot of people don't realize in all of this, I mean, clearly what he has built here and over the course of a decade is very impressive. But this is not just a couple of good classes. I mean, this is not just a couple of groups that came through from their freshman year to their senior year and did something impressive. They start these kids out in middle school. I mean, they've got the kids hitting the weight room from the time they're very young. But the biggest thing is they run the same offense all throughout. And so by the time these kids get to the varsity level, you've seen it year in and year out. Names that we've never even seen off the JV field, all of a sudden they come in, they're certified superstars in year 1. So it's been very impressive to see, but it's something that it really is lasting in Gypsum. And I think that's the most impressive part of what Southeast of Saline has built.
And just a footnote too, I wasn't going to stick this in here, but as you're talking, I got to thinking about the history of Southeast, and especially since I've been involved. My first year broadcasting Southeast full time was the final year of Pat Haxton. And I got into an article earlier today about Pat Haxton and his 8-man squad out at Trigo Community, and they are on a roll. They lost their first 2 games of the season, but since then they have not lost, and they're rolling into the playoffs in 8-man. So I always think about Pat and the job that he has done. Of course, he went to Valley Center from Southeast of Saline, ended up through a couple of other things through Trigo, and he's doing a really good job out there. So I just thought I'd throw that in there as well. What's the biggest thing that stood out to you from the game that Southeast of Saline had with Ellsworth last week?
I mean, it's got to be the 0 on the scoreboard. I think between that and the way Southeast was able to stop the running game, let's face it, this is an Ellsworth team that ran the football exceptionally well throughout the season. And it wasn't just one guy. I mean, a lot of people will point to Ian Andelon, but they had 3 backs consistently averaging 6, 7, 8 yards a carry. Southeast of Saline completely shut that down. They forced Will Cravens out of the pocket and made them throw the ball, I think, more than what they would like. And at the end of the day, you put a 0 on the scoreboard. It's tough to lose when you don't give up any points.
I'm going to go through here and I'm going to pick out some games tonight that may be of interest across the state. I'm going to throw a couple 2A games at you in this classification. That is where Southeast of Saline plays. And then you can kind of go from there. I think Rossville, Riley County, just because their proximity, that rivalry tonight will be fun to watch and get the score updates on that. Larned and TMP, I think, is also a game for first round action. I think it is worthy of that. Keep in mind, a lot of your biggest blowouts in small school football start in the first round because you have a first place district winner going against a fourth placed team in a district. You have to have a really loaded district to have a fourth place team come up and compete with those first place teams. But I think those 2 games in Class 2A, you should have a good game for your game of the week on Salina Post in Class 3A tonight when Chapman goes to Rock Creek. And I think conditions will have a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's what it comes down to, because I think if you play this game in dry conditions on a sunny day, I think Rock Creek is favored and probably favored pretty heavily. But what are the elements element that kind of is the ultimate equalizer. It's the weather. And if it is a cold, rainy day, if it is tough to throw that football, you start to think about a Chapman team that likes to keep it on the ground. And a Chapman team that in their last game, by the way, ate up an entire quarter in one drive just by keeping it on the ground and not picking up anything massive. But if they can keep that Rock Creek offense off the field, I think that could be a football game. And I'll be very interested to see how things shake out tonight with that one.
That'll be streaming live with video and, of course, Tyler's commentary on Salina Post tonight. The winner of this game between Southeast of Saline and Chaparral get the winner of Hillsboro and Kingman. Two teams Southeast of Saline very familiar with because Hillsboro was in the district. Kingman, of course, defeated Southeast of Saline in double overtime last year in the Final Four game. This is a game that seems like if it should happen next week between Southeast of Saline and Kingman, it's happening really early in the bracket. And it's just the way it played out, right? Kingman stubbed their toe against Garden Plain last week. They did not win that district. That's how we can be at that point a week from now. We won't mention to head coach Mitch Gebhardt that we're looking down the road a little bit. But from a fan standpoint, you can't help but to look at a potential week 2 matchup at the playoffs with Southeast of Saline hosting Kingman.
Well, and it's funny, too, because it's the exact same teams. They've just shuffled the order. I mean, if Southeast of Saline does advance through this bracket, they're going to get Chaparral, who they played in the playoffs this week, Kingman, who they played in that quarterfinal game last year, next week. And then you've got a Hoisington team in the exact same slot that they faced them a season ago. The only thing that could be different, and this is getting way too deep into it, is probably Norton or Garden Plain. But, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I actually talked with Coach Gebhardt in our preview article about this a little bit, and he said, look, that familiarity goes both ways. He said, yes, we're more familiar with those guys, but those guys are more familiar with us, and that's a door that does open and close the same way.
And here's what we know. We know Southeast of Saline will be, quote, at home tonight here on the campus of Kansas Wesleyan. If they win, they will be at home again next week against potentially Kingman. If they win that, and Hoisington is also still alive at that track, they will play at Hoisington in week 3 of the playoffs, but then probably turn around and come back home for the following week. That's just kind of the track that we have right now. And of course, we are just projecting down the future. None of that is set in stone other than the game that we have here tonight where Southeast of Saline is tangling with the Roadrunners. You mentioned the matchup a year ago. This is a much different Chaparral team. When I was going through depth charts and updating my information from the Chaparral team a year ago, there were a lot of seniors on their 2 deep. Their defense had 9 seniors. Their offense had 10 seniors. There's not a lot of those guys back. The returner is a defensive lineman and a center on that Roadrunner team. But other than that, they pretty much had to replace everybody. It's a much different team than what we saw in week 2 of the playoffs of last year.
It certainly is. And it's a team that feels, at least from my perspective, a little bit like a glass cannon. Whether they can't or whether they refuse to, this is not a Chaparral team that runs the ball an awful lot. Through 7 weeks, just 265 yards on the ground. So you look at what they've done through the air. Yardage, not all that bad. 1,089 yards going into the last week of the season, 9 touchdowns. But the thing that's concerning, 12 interceptions. And if we know anything about the Southeast of Saline secondary, those guys are going to be licking their chops at any miscues you make. And we saw it with Hillsboro. If you throw the ball that much, you cannot give interceptions and turnovers to a team as good as SES.
Southeast of Saline has had their turnover problems at times. Hillsboro, they had 4 of them. Turned around the next week, committed 2 more, had another one last week against the Ellsworth Bearcats. But this is a team, though, that defensively they're able to make up for it and get the ball back in order for their offense to go score points. First round of the playoffs, it's what the Kansas State High School Activities Association in all their originality refers to as Week 9. I wish we could get a better name for that, but we'll have to open up a contest or something on Salina Post. We'll see if we can name this week for Keisha as we just got to quit referring to it as Week 9. I call it round 1 of the playoffs. As we get ready to go, you have to win to move on, and that's what Southeast of Saline will try to do here tonight against the Roadrunners. That's Tyler Henry. You can read his work on salinapost.com. You can also watch live stream video tonight. If you're watching the Southeast of Saline game tonight, you can always bounce over there anytime you want, see video of the Chapman Rock Creek game. Tyler, have a good call tonight. It'll always be interesting to see the Fighting Irish and the Mustangs as they go at it here tonight as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
We'll be back with the head coach of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. It's Mitch Gebhardt. He's right around the corner, and he's coming up after the break. Countdown to kickoff brought to you by L&L Advisors. Rolls on for the Trojans and the Roadrunners here on the campus of Kansas Wesleyan University on KINA.
Frisbee Construction is a service organization for the commercial grain industry dedicated to giving you the best in planning, the best in quality, and the best of workmanship and overall the best value for your dollar since 1949. Frisbee Construction specializes in new construction as well as remodel and repair of grain handling facilities throughout the Midwest. Frisbee Construction Company in Gypsum has emergency crews available as needed. For more information, go to frisbeeinc.com.
Back here on Countdown to Kickoff, it's brought to you by L&L Advisors. Getting ready for week number 9. It's the first bracket game for Class 2A football, southeast of Saline. At home, kind of here at Kansas Wesleyan to take on a familiar opponent from the playoffs a year ago, the Chaparral Roadrunners. Time now for our pregame conversation with head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Brought to you by Frisbee Construction. And boy, Coach, a big win for you last week on the road at Ellsworth. And this was a game that, for the second year in a row, we're sitting here undefeated. Ellsworth's undefeated. District title, league title, all that stuff on the line. At the end of the day, you got to go out and play a football game, and it's Ellsworth, it's southeast of Saline. It's kind of a good old-fashioned matchup that fell out of bed for a while. We went a long time without playing Ellsworth, but now that game's back, and your guys came out and they played pretty well, didn't they?
Yeah, we really did. I thought our defense played as well, probably better than they had all year. That was just good. They're a very good football team and coached well. I thought our guys, to hold them to 0, that was a big deal.
This first half was interesting, and you and I talked a little bit off air about it, where the yards were there in the first half, just the points weren't. And finishing drives, especially that drive right before halftime, I know a lot of people are going to remember that, where you were down 4th and goal on the 1, got a penalty on that 4th down play, it scooted you back, led to an interception. But there were drives before that, too, that just weren't able to capitalize and convert some 3rd and 4th downs.
Yeah, I think we had four times we went for it on 4th down in that first half, and we got a couple of them and didn't get the other ones. But that was a big deal. I knew we'd move the ball. I didn't know how many yards we had in the first half, and I knew we'd move the ball up and down the field. And just we only found the end zone that one time, and that bothered me a little bit leading into halftime.
I had you out gaining Ellsworth in the first half by over 200 yards. That leads me to the next question. In a game like that, where the yardage is there, the points are, and it's still a close game, especially knowing that they get the football to start second half, it becomes a game of momentum, doesn't it, to see who's going to capture that momentum to start the third quarter?
It kind of does. And I felt like our kids, we had a good halftime. We talked over a few things, and I felt like our kids were going to come out of the gate well. But, that was a big deal to have them get the ball and make them punt the ball, and then we get the ball back. So, again, our defense stepped up and did an outstanding job.
You were able to get them off the field and put your offense back onto the field. The first drive for the third quarter, I thought, was also just a huge momentum capture for you guys. 83 yards on that drive. It was 8 plays, and the biggest play, as you started out inside of your own 20-yard line, was a bomb down the left-hand side to Tucker Thaxton, who seems to put one of these highlight catches in his reel every single game.
Yeah, Tucker's been playing awful well. He does it in practice, too. Dan does a good job of getting the ball out there to him and letting the playmaker go make a play, and he's done an outstanding job with that all year. And I'm awful proud of the work that he's put in to make himself better. And he knew going into the season that he started every game last year, and he was going to have a lot more catches. And he worked his tail off to get there, and he's done an outstanding job for us.
We went through the first 5 games. Tucker Thaxton was the only southeast of Saline receiver to catch a touchdown. But now the last couple of weeks, we've seen Wyatt Boyd, Cameron Whitty, also Nathan Friesen get involved a little bit in the passing game, and Evan Watkins catch a couple of touchdowns the last 2 weeks as well.
Yeah, and all those guys were doing a good job of catching the football throughout the year. They just hadn't gotten the end zone. And with Tucker catching as many balls and as many touchdowns as he has, they're going to do some coverages a little bit different, which brings those guys open. I thought Wyatt Boyd had a really good football game against Ellsworth. Caught the ball well, and he also played good defense.
Let's talk about your defense. Obviously, this defense held the door shut against Ellsworth's offense while you guys kind of figured it out there in the first half. They continued just to play lights out in the second half. Shut out a good Ellsworth team who averaged about 340 yards a game and 38 points per game. They just held them to under 100 yards of total offense, no points on the board. And this was a defense that had to shift a little bit. They had to pivot early on in the game when you lost Killian Vaughn.
Yeah, and we did. We had to do a few things different when Killian went down there on special teams and changed our rotation a little bit on how we did that. But I thought as a whole the group really did step up. Our D-line played outstanding. Our linebackers were good, and our defensive backs did a good job of coming and cleaning things up. So our D-line played as well as they have all year.
One of the interesting things you did on defense, and I want to ask you about this, Ellsworth had a tendency to take one of their running backs and split him wide out left or right as a wide receiver. When that happened, you had Bryson Lippold come out from his linebacker spot to play pass coverage. Bryson did pretty good, even got an interception in this game.
Yeah, and Bryson has been just continually getting better at doing things, and we stepped up against different receivers at different times. But we moved him out with him, and he still has got his responsibilities. That's a tough spot to play in our defense, those outside linebackers, and Bryson and Cameron Wade have been doing a great job for us.
How'd your special teams perform?
Kickoff again. I think I talk about that every week, but kickoff was a roller coaster. I really feel like they did a good job on a couple of them, but the coverage. We continue to work on that, and hopefully that's going to get better. I thought for 2 weeks in a row now, for sure, and probably more than that, but 2 weeks in a row, White Boyd did a great job of kicking the football where we wanted it to be kicked, and the rest of the special teams did a pretty good job.
With the victory 30-0, you were able to get another league title. It's the 6th in the row, the 9th underneath your head coaching job, 4th consecutive district title championship as you go into the playoffs here. And again, another quote-unquote regular season that is in the books. Before we take the step on to the playoffs and start talking about the opponent here tonight, the other levels of Southeast of Saline football that we talk about frequently are done now for the rest of the year, I believe. How did everything pan out when you go from underneath varsity?
Our JV got 6 games in this year, and they didn't lose any. 2 or 3 of those games were knockdown dragouts, and pretty happy with. I'm real happy with the advancement of what those kids did from when they started last year in June with us and moved through and followed along with what the older guys are doing. They did a good job, and they understand what's going on. Our junior high's been done for a couple weeks, and they both, the A team and B team, had outstanding seasons.
It's good news there from the other levels of Southeast of Saline football. How'd your week go for you in preparation for this one here tonight?
We had a good week. I thought our Tuesday practice was as good as we've had. I thought our Wednesday practice was awful good also. So, I'm pretty proud of how the boys have continued to work it and continue to want to get better.
The Chaparral team that you play here tonight, this is a team that's familiar to Southeast of Saline followers because this team also came to here in the playoffs last year. It was just a week offset. It was actually week number 2 of the playoffs last year. And it's kind of weird, right? It's a deja vu situation because we played them on the campus of Kansas Wesleyan after a week full of rain, and we're doing that here tonight. A.D. Doug and I just kind of weird joking about it. They're going to think this is our home turf, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. It is crazy how that worked out, but awful happy that Kansas Wesleyan allows us to come in there and play when we can, and it's a great place to play, and I'm sure Chaparral's probably happy to go in there and play also.
This Roadrunner team, they're different than a year ago. They had a lot of seniors on their roster in the 2 deep a year ago, and they lost, of course, those seniors to a graduating class, and they've struggled this year. What do you know about Chaparral?
They do a good job of running the football and throwing it about half and half, and their line's big. Chaparral must have big people because their line was big last year, and it's big this year. Defense, they do a good job, have a good scheme. We're going to have to play well against them.
Just talking about the weather and the field conditions and things like that, that may come into play here tonight. Of course, one of your keys is always to hang on to the football. What other kind of challenges do you think the weather may present here tonight?
We'll see what the wind looks like, but when it's windy, special teams take a hit or really, really good. One of the two, depends on which way you're headed. But so special teams can be a big deal because of the weather.
What's the keys for your success here tonight and move on?
Take care of the football. We don't want to give them easier opportunities. We want to make them drive against our defense if possible, and play good defense like we have. Play good team defense. Make sure we got a lot of hats running to the ball and tackling once we get there. And then we need to move the football. Get first downs. If you can get first downs, your momentum keeps going, and if you get enough first downs, eventually you end up in the end zone.
Mitch Gebhardt, head coach of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. His guys tonight here on the campus of Kansas Wesleyan to take on the Roadrunners from Chaparral. Coach, best of luck to you. We'll talk to you at halftime.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Back with more Trojan pregame, and the kickoff is right around the corner here from Kansas Wesleyan University. Trojan pregame comes to you courtesy of L&L Advisors on KINA.
You're telling me your driver turns you on remotely?
It feels so good. One gentle touch of a handy remote or mobile app and my motor is running. And don't fret, my little pickup pal. New Image Audio installs these inside trucks too.
Oh, yeah.
You'll want it when the winter chill hits. A remote start from New Image Audio for cars, trucks, even diesels. All systems remote and cell phone capable. Nationwide coverage. Get yours at New Image Audio on South Broadway.
In Salina.
This has been Countdown to Kickoff. The opening kick is right around the corner. It's about to get ugly. Back to the stadium we go for Trojan football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back here on the campus of Kansas Wesleyan University in downtown Saline at the Graves Sports Complex. The Southeast Saline Trojans taking on the Chaparral Roadrunners in what Keisha calls Week 9, what we would call probably the first round of the playoffs. Last week, looking back a little bit, Ellsworth coming in undefeated, Southeast undefeated. It's almost like it was a rewind of last year towards the end of the season this year, and really the same result last week, defeating Ellsworth 30-0, and then the last 3 games against Ellsworth, outscoring them 148-13. 8-0 start for the Southeast Saline Trojans for the 4th year in a row. Multi-time districts in a row, 4 districts in a row, even going back to 3A a couple years ago. Haven taking on Chaparral last week in a lopsided victory. Chaparral getting beat 47-7. 1-6 coming into this game. Had an open date in week 7, so they only have 7 games on the schedule as we bring in the voice of the Trojans, Devin Haney. And Devin, I was just talking about towards the end of this year was almost like a direct rewind of last year. You get Ellsworth undefeated, you blow them out. Now we're back here on the campus of Kansas Wesleyan taking on the Chaparral Roadrunners, who in fact were the one game that we had last year here.
Yeah, just kind of a 2 weeks off from last year. This was the first week in November last year. This year it is the last weekend of October. And as we all know, this is the next step, right? I mean, it is after the regular season, playoffs start now, and it's the biggest blowouts or the biggest surprises can come in week number 1 of the bracket, right? I mean, it is that week where you should have the most lopsided games when you have teams that are first in the district playing teams that are 4th in the district. I don't expect that happening here tonight. I think that the Southeast kids will come out and they'll take care of business. And just talking to Mitch Gebhardt during the week, I think they're ready for this game more than what they've ever been for another game. And you just can't help but to look around the corner a little bit, though. I know the goal here is to go 1-0 every single week, but looming on the doorstep potentially next week is Kingman. Everybody knows what happened with Kingman 1 year ago. Well, that game now, because Kingman stubbed their toe against Garden Plain last week, can be accelerated. That game can actually happen in week 2 of the bracket next week. First, of course, though, you have to take care of business here tonight. And it's a chilly night. It's really the first kind of Burr type of fall night that we have had, and it's going to get worse as the weekend goes along. Tonight, though, 45 degrees here at kickoff. It'll be down to about 40 degrees by the end of the game. That north-northeast wind is still going to blow, and it will be all over the folks in the aluminum bleachers here trying to keep their bums warm during this game, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So that's something to keep an eye on. It's something we will gauge, too, here at the Graves Sports Complex, as Southeast of Saline has won the toss. They have deferred, and they will start out kicking the football away to this Roadrunner team.
Some area games that we'll watch following along on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Our friend Tyler Henry up at Rock Creek, Chapman taking on Rock Creek. Another area game just down the road in Abilene. Ark City coming in to visit Abilene. Great Bend at Salina Central. Salina South at Capon. Quinter at El Saline. Lakin at Beloit. Haven at Ellsworth. Bluestem at Republic County. That is not a playoff game. That was what we like to call the throwaway game in their Week 9, where they get one more game on the schedule. And Minneapolis at Silver Lake.
Southeast of Saline coming out here, looking for their purple tops tonight. Their white pants. They look good underneath these really bright LED lights at the Graves Sports Complex. Wearing those purple helmets. Chaparral coming out in a, what you would describe, Russ, because you did in pregame, some like camouflage type bottoms, blue tint. They are wearing white tops and a blue helmet and that yellow face mask. They are the Roadrunners, which is one of the unique mascots across the state. So they come in and they are looking to upset one of the top 5 ranked teams in Class 2A in the state of Kansas here in the southeast of Saline Trojans. Glad you could join us. Live stream video on SalinaPost.com tonight, along with the radio broadcast brought to you by Everhart Precision Ag. Thank you to Matt and the folks out there at Everhart Precision Ag, great partner of southeast of Saline student athletes.
I think that'll lead us right into the New Image Audio keys to the game. And I think it's got to be defense. You got to continue the shutouts that you've had. You've given up under 100 yards in the last 2 weeks. So I expect nothing less from this defense. We get to see the defense first out on the field. Talk about giving up 93 yards, 92 yards, and 138 yards to Hillsboro. Mind you, when we went into that game, Hillsboro had the number 1 passing offense in the state.
Also, keep in mind, this is a southeast of Saline defense that has only given up over 200 yards.
Set the game clock?
Mr. Referee. They've only given up over 200 yards twice this season, and that was both times when they stepped out of Class 2A and played up into 3A. They gave up 220 to Rock Creek, but only 1 score in Week 1. Then when they went to Clay Center, they gave up 229 and only gave up 1 score. Both of those games on the road. Here we are at Kansas Wesleyan's Graves Sports Complex, southeast of Saline, with their hand in the air, and they are ready to get things going here as they kick it off. As you view it on live stream video, the ball goes left to right. Chaparral's going to try to field it. They do so, but drop it at the 25. Now a fumble on the kick return. Southeast of Saline may have it. We may have our first Vanderbilt's turnover of the game on the opening kick. The referees will come in, and they will try to unpile them. Southeast of Saline thinks they have it, and they are going to say Chaparral will keep the football here, and they will start out at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, and that was Tice Paff right there, the up man that got that. He fumbled the initial, and then I couldn't see who came in and made that initial hit to jar that football loose.
I could not either. It was on the other side of the field, and I could not get all of that. But we will start out here, Chaparral at their own 25-yard line. This is an offense they have struggled throughout the season. Their turnover margin is negative 11 on the year as a team, and they only average 10.9 points per game. Drew Weller, we think, caused that fumble on the kickoff coverage. And here's a run to the right-hand side for Chaparral, and they will lose 3 yards on the first play of the game.
Yeah, and seems nothing but exactly what you would expect out of this Southeast front 3, who have played extremely well up front all year long. We've talked about those 3 guys just about every game at the start of every game.
Loss of 3 yards on the first play of the game here for the Roadrunners. Backs them up down to the 22-yard line. Second down and 13. 3 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. The quarterback, Walker, drops the football, picks it up off the turf, then flings it out to the right. Chaparral able to make a little bit of positive momentum off of that play. As Jack Walker had to reach down, the sophomore quarterback picked it up and flung it out to the right-hand side, and Chaparral was able to get 2 yards on that play. Fighting over there on the right-hand side, it looked like Tice Paff that time, able to catch it and get 2.
Yeah, he comes in being their big playmaker on the outside that quarterback will go to, but you and I kind of talked about it. The quarterback is going to have to get the ball out fast with these front 3 coming in.
3rd down and 11 from their own 24-yard line, just underway in this one. The first round of 2A playoffs. 30 teams come into the bracket with a chance to win a state title. We will cut that in half after tonight. Here's a fumble again. Southeast of Saline all over it. Looks like Chaparral will pick it up as they were trying to run the jet sweep to the right-hand side, and the recovery that time will be made by the quarterback, Jack Walker, but Chaparral will lose 3 yards on that play and be backed up to the 20-yard line where it is 4th and 15.
And 3 plays, minus 5 yards for this Southeast of Saline defense. Those front 3 are going to be huge all night, wrecking havoc. Brody Chambers, Josiah Monday, Drew Weller, Bryson Lippold, really everybody that is involved in the front 4.
Cameron Whitty, Daniel Kerr standing at midfield on the Coyote logo here at Kansas Wesleyan. It's a high punt. It will go up and die at about the 40-yard line. Now bounce around on this artificial surface and then take a little bit of a Southeast of Saline roll to about the 41.5, and that is where the Trojan offense will take over on their first possession of the night. Daniel Kerr is the senior quarterback. He is undefeated as a starting quarterback in his life. He will have Nathan Friesen along with Cameron Whitty, Evan Watkins, Wyatt Boyd, and Tucker Thaxton as the skill players. Up front, it starts with senior center Nathan Weller. To the left, he will have Josiah Monday and Keaton Blake. To the right, he will have Brody Chambers and Kendall Miniman. They will rotate Deacon Bear, Drew Weller, Trayton Olson, Trey Droege, and Zach Klinda on that offensive line up front. Southeast of Saline starts out in a pistol formation, Friesen directly behind Kerr.
They will play action it. Kerr wants to go deep over the middle of the field to the hash mark. Has Thaxton diving at the 5, and he cannot come up with it. Tucker Thaxton laid it all on the line, cashed in the IRA and everything at the 5, came down to the ground, though, and the ball popped free. Incomplete as Southeast goes for it all in the first play of the game.
Great play call. I like to see it coming out early. Thaxton had 2 guys beat by 5 yards, lays out at the 5-yard line, has that ball in his grasp, and as soon as he comes down, it just pops free when he rolls over. But really a good job by the offensive line allowing Thaxton to run that deep route.
Short field here at the Chaparral 41-yard line. Opening drive for Southeast of Saline. They got to stop on defense. Here's Friesen negotiating traffic. Gets through to the safety level. Now tackled down at the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 21 on Nathan Friesen's first carry of the night.
Yeah, and real patient running right there by Nathan Friesen. He kind of hit a wall about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. Kind of picked up a big block from the center right there and just goes right off of his right hip.
Nose of the football sitting on the Caniquip red zone, brought to you by Case IH and Caniquip in Salina. Here's the fake on the jet sweep. Kerr's going to keep it. Stumbles down inside the 15, and he will have the 13-yard line on a gain of 7. That's the first carry of the game for senior quarterback Daniel Kerr. Southeast of Saline marching it down the field here on a couple of big plays after they missed on the first play of the drive, now sitting at the 13-yard line.
Yeah, he tried to make a cut and just lost his footing.
3 wide receivers to the right. They're going to run that way on a handoff to Friesen. He has to get rid of the first road runner. Does so. Now to the 10, now to the 5. Reaching out to the end zone and scoring the first touchdown of the night. With 9:29 left to go in the first quarter, the first drive of the night ends up in a Southeast of Saline touchdown, and it's Nathan Friesen from 13 yards away.
And Wyatt Boyd on the outside doing a great job blocking. Turned his defender outside. He tried to go around him, and he just shoved him clean off to the side and allowed Friesen to break that one to the corner of the end zone, as now they're going to set up in the swinging gate.
For Friesen, it's his 13th rushing touchdown of the season. Last year, as a junior, he had 16 touchdowns, so on pace to break that. Swinging gate loaded up to the right-hand side on the 2-point conversion attempt. Thaxton will come back in. He will block for Kerr. That will go straight up the middle. He collides with a road runner at the goal line and cashes it in. 9:29 left to go. We are underway here in the first quarter. Southeast of Saline has an 8-0 lead after both teams have their opening possession of the night. Back with more Trojan football after this on KINA.
It's mid-season, and that means playoff time for the Trojans, 1L Garrettson. The games get bigger and the stakes are high.
Sounds like the real estate game, and just like the coaches are planning for their biggest part of the year, you can make plans for your family's real estate adventures. Maybe you're wanting to invest in a rental before the holidays hit, or maybe it's time to look at upsizing for the kids or downsizing for the folks. Country or town, big or small, one call does it all. Buy or sell, call 1L at salinahomes.com.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Southeast of Saline has made it a habit this year, going down the field on their first offensive drive of the game and getting points. They do that here, and all of a sudden they have flipped this game now. Not only have they scored the first touchdown of the night, but they're also scheduled to get the ball to start the third period. When we come out of the locker room at halftime, it is 8-0 Trojans after Nathan Friesen's 13th rushing touchdown of the season.
We're not even halfway through the first quarter here, Devin. Slow down a little bit. You got a little Nathan Friesen, and you want to get going here. But defense coming back on the field after this kickoff.
Here's Wyatt Boyd. Puts this one off his right leg. All the way back to the 5-yard line. Roadrunners working their way back to the 20. Now trying to reverse field and losing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. All the way back to the 5. Holy cow, they're going to give him generous forward progress to the 10, but Kyler Smith looking for somewhere to go nearly cost his team 15 yards on that. He did lose 10, and he puts the Roadrunners back at their own 10-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually going to spot this at the 9. They're going to go inside the 10 here.
Should have been at the 5, really. Jeez.
Yeah.
Thought it was a good idea.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah. 9:19 left to go. 8-0. Southeast of Saline now playing defense. We'll go over that defensive unit for you here as we've had a quick start. Here's Walker, back to pass, goes to the right-hand side. That's what this Roadrunner team does best, and he has a wide receiver over there on that side. Looks like Keaton Bowman going up and making the catch, and that will get 8 yards for the Roadrunners.
And that was a great catch right there by Keaton. Kind of had to lay out for that one. That thing was a frozen rope coming out of the arm of Jack Walker, excuse me.
Actually, I think it was Ty Hadsell.
That's exactly who it was.
Yeah. It's hard to see here out of this press box. We have a glare on the windows and a glare off the turf. I'm sure you're picking up on the turf glare on the live stream video on SalinaPost.com. Field level, of course, you can't tell, but up here elevated in the press box, you can tell as the pass incomplete there. Chaparral throwing their first incompletion. They start out 2 for 3. The Southeast defense up front, it'll be a combination of Josiah Monday, Brody Chambers, Bryson Lippold, along with Deacon Bear, Nathan Weller, Keaton Blake, and Drew Weller. The corners are Tucker Thaxton and Wyatt Boyd. Your defensive backs and linebackers, Daniel Kerr, Nathan Friesen, Gannon Jacobson, Grady Gebhardt, Evan Watkins, and Cameron Whitty. Here's a run to the right-hand side by the Roadrunners, trying to pick up this 3rd down and 2, and they only get about a half a yard. That'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, I think that was a designed run from the set. Quarterback kind of get it, go, and the defensive line said not going to happen as they get great pressure. Josiah Monday, the first one through there to kind of make the quarterback shake and make a decision. Will bring out the punting unit for Chaparral.
And Jack Walker, not a big runner for this Chaparral team. They're pinned back now at their own 15-yard line with a 4th down and 1. They're going to punt. Here is the punt, high in the air, and then it's going to die as it hits that north wind. It's going to take a Southeast of Saline bounce, and that football will pick up 6 yards for Trojan's benefit as it will be pinned down now at the 29-yard line. Another very short field for Southeast of Saline as their offensive unit comes back out.
So Chaparral's ran 6 offensive plays if you don't count the punt, and has 3 yards to show for it after that -5 on that first drive.
Still 8:01 left to go here, first quarter. Southeast of Saline on the field offensively for the second time. A slot back and 2 wide receivers to the right. Kerr's going to flip it out to Grady Gebhardt. Grady strung out. He plants it back inside, and he is gone. 20, 15, 10, 5. Grady Gebhardt, a one-play drive. And Grady Gebhardt, for the second consecutive week, has a touchdown from about 30 yards away.
Yeah, and a great job, a great cut right there by Gebhardt. Evan Watkins kind of comes out and throws a block, and then Grady Gebhardt plants that right foot in the ground, mashes the gas pedal right to the corner of the end zone for another quick one-play drive to get a touchdown, as now Southeast is going to set up once again in the swinging gate.
Gebhardt now, his first touchdown of the night on the season. He has 6. Comes some motion from Thaxton, running the same play look they ran last time when they cashed it in. The direct snap to Gebhardt, though, is going to be a fumble. Grady trying to pick it up. He does so, but then he's going to be tackled to the ground, and the 2-point conversion will not be good. And that was a sloppy play by Southeast of Saline. The whole coaching staff going out, meeting the special teams unit after that one. But it's 14-0 Southeast of Saline. 7:53 left to go here in the first quarter. Southeast of Saline Trojan football brought to you by Everhart Precision Ag.
Maybe you don't play quarterback or make the highlight reel. Maybe you're not a high school athlete anymore. But just like an athlete, you can get first-class orthopedic care from Saline Ortho. Their doctors and staff strive to get you back to an injury-free, pain-free life as quickly as possible. Saline Ortho has a doctor on call 24/7 for all orthopedic injuries. So next time you're injured, trust the experts at Saline Ortho. Your voice, your choice, past, present, and future. See them online at salinaortho.com.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
14-0 Southeast of Saline after Grady Gebhardt scores his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. For Southeast of Saline, it was a one-play drive, and the Caps are Marshall Motors' second scoring drive of the game for the Southeast of Saline Trojans. Devin Haney, Russ Kossel, Brian Denna providing live stream video of this game on SalinaPost.com. You can watch that anytime free of charge. It is on demand, and it is for you. Presented by Everhart Precision Ag. Here's the kick by Wyatt Boyd. He found an empty spot in the field. The Roadrunners will have to run this down at about the 8. They do so, and here comes Kyler Smith. Smith angling over to the right-hand side, shedding Trojans, and now he's going to be ran out of bounds by about 3 Trojans, just short of the 30-yard line. Good return there by Kyler Smith and the Chaparral Roadrunners, who come out for their 3rd possession of the day already.
Yeah, and Drew Weller had a shot, and then Malachi Hopkins had a shot over there at about that 17-yard line and was just unable to bring him down. Then they force him out of bounds at the sideline. Defense comes back on the field for another stand.
And there is a flag in the middle of the field that the referees are looking at right now. We'll eavesdrop on that conversation.
During the return, block in the back, receiving team, 10 yards from the from the spot of the foul. It'll be first down.
So Southeast of Saline will get aided here on this defensive start as once again the Roadrunners pinned way back in their own territory, Russ. They're going to start just short of their own 10-yard line.
Yeah, not really where you want to start with the game. You started in 2 drives, 6 plays, and about 3 yards total to show for it.
7:43 left to go here, opening period. Southeast of Saline with a 14-0 lead. Chaparral looking over to their sideline. Quarterback Jack Walker, the sophomore, in the shotgun formation with 6 wide receivers. He's going to wing it out on a quick out route, looking for Ty Hadsel that time, a fellow sophomore on the out on the left-hand side, and that ball falls incomplete. 2 of 4 passing the football so far for the Runners.
And you don't think in the back of quarterback Jack Walker's mind he's going, because I noticed when he's back there on the pass, he's got happy feet. He knows he only has about maybe 2 seconds to get rid of the ball and hope he can find a receiver before he reads number 75 in white right in his chest.
2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. Roadrunners with the ball. 3 wide receivers on the right. Walker looking that way as he gets hit by Brody Chambers, and it might be picked off. Gannon Jacobson gets in there in the passing lane, knocks it down. He was fighting for the football with Tice Paff. And as you said, you kind of foreshadowed that. Jack Walker took a hit by Brody Chambers at the goal line and threw the incompletion.
No, that was Josiah Monday coming around on the left defensive end spot. Kind of put just one little swim move on that right tackle out there and didn't really have a chance to even slow him down. Josiah having a full head of steam at the quarterback.
Another tough situation here for the Roadrunners. 3rd down and 10 at their own 10-yard line. Looking to move the chains and keep a drive alive here. They have not sustained anything as of yet. Walker back to pass. Under pressure, gets hit again and hits a receiver right in the hands, and it's dropped. Holy cow, he put that one right on Jalen Cushenberry. It was not defended well by Southeast of Saline in the secondary, but their defensive line put enough pressure on Walker. He had to get rid of that football, and maybe just that fraction of a second caused the receiver, Cushenberry, to not be ready for that football as it goes incomplete. But that was a heck of a throw by the sophomore QB.
And that was a great throw under pressure. Grady Gebhardt coming in on the blitz, puts a little move on the center, and it looked like Cushenberry just didn't get his head around in time.
Back of the end zone now, a punt coming out for the Roadrunners. Again, a nice high punt. It's going to die in that wall of wind that is blowing from left to right. It's going to bounce short of the 30 and then find a spot out of bounds about the 35. We'll see where the referees want to put this one down as Southeast of Saline's offense comes back out onto the field for the 3rd time. So far, they're 2 for 2. They have 2 touchdowns and 1 2-point conversion to show for it, and it's 14-0 Southeast of Saline.
Yeah, just 14 points on the board and coming out now to run their 6th offensive play in what is their 3rd possession.
And they scored, Russ, at 7:53 mark. They're getting the ball back at the 7:19 mark. Not even a minute of possession there by Chaparral. Pistol formation, freezing behind Care, loaded up on the right-hand side with receivers. Bubble screen out to Whitty. He catches it. Now to the 30, 25, 20. Stumbles down to the 15-yard line. Good block out in front by Wyatt Boyd.
Yeah, and just right behind his senior running mate, and Wyatt Boyd just clearing the way, got contact early, and just drove his defender straight down the field, allowing Whitty to just follow right on his backside as he almost had him turned at the sideline.
To the 15-yard line, that completion goes for 18 yards. It's the first completion of the night for Care. Captain Care now fakes the handoff, end around. He's going to run it straight up the gut, right-hand side, and he's going to be brought down at about the 11-yard line after a gain of 4.
Yeah, Blair for Chaparral right there with a great open field tackle on Daniel Care to bring up 2nd down and 6.
6:49 left to go here in the first quarter. Southeast of Saline looking to add on to their 14-0 lead. From the 11. Care with an empty backfield. Here comes Friesen across the formation. They'll hand it off to Nate. He has to get around a Chaparral player, but he cannot. And he is being taken down back at the 16-yard line. There's a flag on the play, and Tice Paff in there for the Chaparral defense. He's kind of Mr. Everything for Chaparral. He leads them in tackles for loss, sacks, and also interceptions.
And officials still talking on the field. We'll see what they come up with right here. A lot of conversation going on over this flag.
It's going to amount to about a 5-yard loss if the play stands. Paff over there really holding the edge over there, as they say, on that side.
Face mask, 5 yards. We'll mark it off and second down.
Looks like we're not sure who it's going to be on yet, as it looks like they're going to call it on Chaparral, and that's going to turn into a 5-yard gain and bring up second and short.
So that play erased by a penalty, and will put Southeast of Saline at the 6 from the 6-yard line. 6.5 minutes left to go. Here comes Whitty now on the jet sweep. They hand it off to Cameron. He's looking for space, twisting after he's hit, and he's going to be brought down just inside of the 2-yard line. Cameron Whitty moves the chains for Southeast of Saline. It's a first down and goal as the Trojans once again operating in the Case IH Red Zone, brought to you by Caniquip in Salina. First down and goal coming up from the 2.
Yeah, and Whitty gets that on a full head of steam and just misses that outside block to turn that one up into the end zone.
First carry of the day for Cameron Whitty. Here's Kerr now. He'll turn, give it to Friesen, and Nathan skips through the offensive line and into the end zone. Third touchdown of the night for Southeast of Saline. It's the second one for Nathan Friesen.
And that offensive line, once again, just a hole you could about drive a bus through as Nathan Friesen goes in just with a little hop step. Brody Chambers pulled on that play, actually, and really had nobody to hit. The hole was so wide open. It didn't see anybody, but Friesen doing a good job following his offensive line to get 6.
2-yard run, 2-point conversion. How about a traditional formation this time? It's Friesen again, trying to stretch it out to the left-hand side and runs out of room. And Southeast of Saline now 1 of 3 in the 2-point conversion department. But with 6:18 left to go here in the first quarter, 20-0. Southeast of Saline out to a quick start. The Trojans out in front here on KINA.
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Welcome back here to the Graves Sports Complex on the campus of Kansas Wesleyan University. So far, Southeast of Saline has pitched a shutout on defense, and with 8 offensive plays, they have scored 3 touchdowns. Not much of a drive to talk about when you talk about Marshall Motors, but still pretty darn comfortable for Southeast of Saline behind the wheel as they lead at 20-0.
Yeah, offense clicking right along, defense is playing like they have all year. Chaparral running 9 plays so far in this game on 3 drives with 3 punts and only 3 yards to show for it on 9 plays.
Wyatt Boyd ready to kick it away again. Has it teed up right in front of us here at the 40-yard line. As he looks over his formation, angles it just a little bit to the right hash, and now it bounces in the middle of the field, takes a one-hopper, and will be returned here by Chaparral's Kyler Smith, again angling to the right-hand side, to the friendly sideline, as they say. And it is going to be brought down there just short of the 25-yard line, and that Southeast of Saline defense that has been very, very good, especially over the last 3 or 4 games, comes back out onto the field.
And on that kickoff, this is not going to show up in the stat sheet, but it will show up on the hustle plays for the coaches. Evan Watkins ran down and 2 guys kind of set up to block him, and he just absolutely annihilated both of them and was able to still try to chase down the returner.
Chaparral starts out at their own 23-yard line. Brody Chambers shifts last moment. Snap ends up on the ground. Here comes Southeast through. It's Josiah Monday, turning this Friday night into another manic Friday as Josiah Monday comes in and gets a loss on a tackle of about 5 yards, all the way back to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, and they've been having trouble blocking him all night. He just comes around and just a bull rush on that right side of the offensive line and just goes right through 2 guys to bring down Walker.
Chaparral with total offensive number right now of -1. They have not been able to move the football against this elite Southeast of Saline defense. Here's a snap, back to Walker, tries the bubble screen, it's disrupted. Boy, there was some blocking out on the outside that I don't know was legal. Lippold and Thaxton were both tied up by Roadrunner blockers, and the ball goes over their heads as it was tipped out of bounds and disrupted by Southeast of Saline defensively. And after starting out 2 for 2 in this game, now Jack Walker is 2 for 7. He's missed his last 5.
Yeah, and this is slowing the time clock of the game down. You know, they're incomplete passes 3-4 seconds, and the game is just stopping, and Southeast is scoring in 3 to 4 plays.
Yeah, every incomplete pass stops the clock. Here's Walker going out to the right-hand side. Has a receiver wide open. That's Smith. He's going to catch it, tiptoe his way up the sideline. He'll get back to about the 31-yard line, and that will be a decent gain there. It'll be about 18 yards for Chaparral, but it won't be enough. Excuse me, it's 13 yards. So 4 down and about 3.
Yeah, and they're going to bring on the punting unit, Gannon Jacobson and one other out there on that far side, giving a lot of cushion, knowing they had 3rd and long.
Third receiver for the Roadrunners to catch a pass from quarterback Jack Walker so far tonight. Here's the punt. Up in the air. Kerr is looking at it, but it's going to bounce in front of him. Really dangerously close to Nathan Friesen, who was engaged with a gunner that time on the right-hand side, the far side of the field. But the ball is going to die down harmlessly and be at the 38-yard line. Really, this end of the field here to our left, as we view it with live stream video on SalinaPost.com, has not gotten a lot of action. All the action's been from the 50 to our right and going towards that end zone that sits into the south end of the stadium. This is the furthest that we've been back here, as it's still really good field position for Southeast at their own 38.
Yeah, this is the first snap they'll take on their own side of the field, as everything else, like you said, has been on the south side of the 50.
5:01 left to go here in the first quarter. 20-0, Southeast of Saline. Kerr rolling out. Pulls up, throws it to Whitty. Whitty gets hit hard, but hangs onto the football as he gets to the 49-yard line. They're going to move the chains. It's a first down after a catch of 13 yards.
Southeast was going to go quick, now looking over to the sideline to get the play from the coaching staff.
Whitty has caught both of the completions from Daniel Kerr so far here this evening. At the 49 in Roadrunner territory. Kerr wants to scramble. Now he goes out to Evan Watkins, who has his clock cleaned. He had to wait on that football. That was a high sailor that comes to him. Daniel Schmidt came up and made the hit for Chaparral. Still 2 yards for Southeast.
Yeah, and it looked like maybe on that play there might have been a missed route as Daniel kind of pulled up to look deep, and both receivers, Thaxton and one other, were right next to each other, so he had to check down to Watkins on the far side.
Ball to the 47-yard line. 2nd down and 8. Here's Kerr now rolling out to his weak side, the right-hand side. He's going to loft it up to Wyatt Boyd, who's ran out of bounds at the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 27. Daniel Kerr up in the air to Wyatt Boyd.
And we don't talk enough about Daniel Kerr and him rolling to the right. He is a southpaw left-handed quarterback. He's going to his offhand, going forward, turns his shoulders, and feathers that one on a tightrope to Wyatt Boyd on the sideline.
Back in the KSI Red Zone, brought to you by Can Equip. Empty backfield, 3 wide receivers to the left. Here's Thaxton. His first catch, trying to break a tackle. He's inside the 15 and finally torn down at the 12. Tucker Thaxton gets a gain of 7 on his first catch of the night. 4 different Trojans have caught a ball now from Daniel Kerr.
Yeah, and Daniel Kerr looking extremely well tonight. That pass was for about 2 yards, contact made for 1, and Thaxton drags him for 5 more yards.
Inside of the 20, once again, now inside of the 15 at the 12. 3 receivers again to the left. They go away from that, and a low ball out here to Wyatt Boyd at the 9-yard line. Wyatt Wood only had about a couple of yards anyway because he had to go to his knees to catch that. But that missile coming from Daniel Kerr came up just a little bit short. Now that'll bring up 3rd down and 3 for Southeast of Saline. They're at the 12. They have to get it inside the 10 to keep this drive alive.
And I think right here when you got 3rd and short, and looks like they're bringing in Grady Gebhart, who's more of the bowling ball runner in the backfield.
3rd down and 3 from the 12. They give it to Gebhart on the stretch. He plants his leg, finds it back inside, and into the end zone from 12 yards away. For the second time tonight, it's Grady Gebhart. This time from 12 yards away, and Southeast of Saline has their 4th touchdown of the night.
And they took a long time to do it. A 5-play drive right there, the longest one of the first quarter. But you talked about it, these 2 running backs, almost like a 2-headed monster that we really didn't get to see them both get a lot of carries or equal carries until last week on the road at Ellsworth. And they have 2 different running styles. Friesen's just going to run and get up to a head of steam and then run you over. Grady is looking for somebody to hit as soon as he gets the football.
Traditional formation now, a tie formation for the two-point conversion. Kerr is just going to keep it right up the middle. A lot of good blocking up front, and Daniel Kerr gets the two-pointer on the board. 3:33 left to go. It's 28-0. Southeast of Saline. Back with more Trojan football as you watch it live on SalinaPost.com and listen right here on KINA.
For a limited time, take advantage of savings on new Case IH specialty utility and all-purpose tractors with 2.5% interest for 84 months or cash back. With easy operation, Case IH tractors deliver the flexibility and durability your operation demands. Hurry in. Offer ends December 31st, 2023. Stop by Can Equip in Salina and set yourself up for greater productivity with a great deal on a Case IH tractor that works as hard as you do.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here on the campus of the Coyotes, Kansas Wesleyan. We'll have Kansas Wesleyan football for you tomorrow, live from Hillsboro, Tabor College, as the Coyotes go there. We'll also, that'll be on KINA, by the way, also on Prime FM 94.5. Russ and I will have the pleasure of driving to Nebraska in the morning for a doubleheader of Kansas Wesleyan basketball. The women play at 12:30, the men play at 7 p.m.
Do you think we should tell them that we have not called a losing game yet this year? No pressure, but...
When do we really call losing games?
Right. I mean, we get the pleasure of being around not only, great schools, but great kids, great coaching staffs, great administrations, really, all at Southeast of Saline.
Kansas Wesleyan men lost their season opener today by 1. They might be happy to see us. 3:33 left to go, like we have any impact on any of that. Here's the kickoff by Wyatt Boyd. Bounces at the 10. It's going to die at the 9. Smith has to bend over and pick it up. Now he's going to change directions. Tries to get through 2 Southeast of Saline coverage guys, and that's just not going to work out for him. Amarian Hollub, one of the tacklers on the play, along with Evan Watkins. Trey Drogi also in there, and Deacon Bear. That's your 4 Southeast of Saline tacklers on that play. 2 carries for Grady Gebhardt so far, 2 touchdowns. But I think the real highlight of that drive was Daniel Kerr going 5 of 5 in the passing game.
Yeah, and Daniel Kerr just looking extremely well tonight, seeing the field, reading the defense, taking what's there for him. He wanted to go deep. We saw early on that first drive.
Southeast defense back out there now. Monday and Chambers switch end spots on the defensive line. Here comes Monday. It's a sack fumble back inside the 15. Chaparral's going to pick it up at the 12, and they will retain possession as Josiah Monday comes in. He gets a sack fumble. It's his 8th quarterback sack of the year.
Yeah, and he's coming in. Him and Brody Chambers switch sides, and that offensive lineman for Chaparral, Jesus Reyes, just no match for Josiah Monday to come through and get that sack fumble.
That play started at the 22. They're going to lose 8 and go all the way back to the 14. 13 yards of negative offense on plays like that tonight for Chaparral. That's why they trail 28-0. Here's Walker back to throw inside his own 5. Finds a receiver out on the right-hand side. This will be a gain of about 5 as he's able to put her right in the numbers of Kyler Smith. Smith turned and got upfield, was able to make positive yardage out of that, but it's still going to be a 3rd down and long situation for the Roadrunners.
Yeah, and they sent Bryson Lippold on a little blitz just a bit late coming up through the middle of the field to make that tackle. Southeast back in that prevent, knowing they had 2nd and plus yardage to go.
Gain of 7 on the play that time for the runners. 2 catches, 19 yards for Kyler Smith. Here's Walker back to throw. Chambers in his face mask. And another drop by a Chaparral receiver. Kyler Smith at this time drops it in the middle of the field. Would have been close to a 1st down.
Yeah, Grady Gebhardt got sent on a blitz right up the middle, and the running back stepped up to try to block him and just sent him about 4 yards flying into the quarterback's lap.
2:04 left to play. Chaparral ready to turn it over on a punt once again. 2 guys that we really should be concerned about in this game getting treatment at halftime. That's Chaparral's punter and Wyatt Boyd kicking off after Southeast of Saline scores. And the play blew dead here. Maybe a delay of game on Chaparral.
Prior to the snap, false start on the kicking team. A 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
My apologies. Delay of game.
We should go to places and see if we can get that field mic hooked up. It really helps us out when we're trying to guess at what's going on down there.
A nice little rebuild of the concession stands and the press box at Southeast. You can incorporate that really easily. 4th down and 15, 2:04 left to go here. We're still in the first quarter, believe it or not. Here's a snap back to the punter standing within his own 5-yard line. It's Smith, and he's going to put this one up. Excuse me, that is not Kyler Smith. That's Tice Paff. And this punt, again, is going to take a flight into the wind and then end up dropping and resting at the 30-yard line. So Southeast of Saline again with a short field there, 1:54 left to go. As we start having scores rolling in on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard at the end of one, Abilene leads Ark City 13-0. Also Ellsworth out big on Haven middle of the second quarter. It's 28-0 Ellsworth. Beloit leads Lakin 16-0 mid-second quarter. And also Scott City leading Smoky Valley 28-6 at the end of one. We'll keep an eye on those games and more as we march through tonight on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. From the 30, Daniel Kerr rolling out to the left-hand side. He wanted to plant and throw, but he's under pressure. Having to get away, he's going to be grabbed from behind just as he releases that football, and he's going to put it out on the backstretch of the track on the far side.
Yeah, smart play right there by Daniel Kerr. He tried to let that one develop to get a receiver to come open. Really good coverage right there by Chaparral, but has a guy on his back and is able to strong-arm that one about 15 yards out of bounds, but more importantly, got it past the stick, so there was no intentional grounding.
That breaks a completion streak of 5 straight passes completed, but just his second incompletion of the night thus far. Go back to Friesen. Friesen has to jump cut in the hole left-hand side. He's only going to pick up about 2 on the play and move it to the 28, where it'll be 3rd down and 8.
And only the second 3rd down the Southeast has been faced with here tonight. They had one on that last drive where they converted easily, so we'll see what the coaching staff can draw up here at about 3rd and 7.
It's only Friesen's 4th carry of the night. Him and Gebhardt have combined for 6 carries and 4 touchdowns. 3rd down and 7 here. Low snap. Kerr picks it up, fakes the pitch. That's going to really elude the defense. Now out left-hand side to Thaxton, and Tucker will move it inside the 15. Boy, that fake pitch that time by Friesen really froze a lot of road runners rushing in on defense.
Yeah, as he turns opposite and throws it way out, and Thaxton just runs the perfect out route. Had about 15 yards of cushion over there on the side, and Kerr drops it right in between the twos.
Football to the, looks like they're at the 16-yard line.
And they switched footballs out right there, so that's what's delaying this play a little bit.
So 11 yards to Thaxton, his second catch of the night. 18 yards thus far. 1st down and 10. Here's the give to Friesen. Starts out right, comes back to the left hash, and he is going to rumble all the way down inside of the 5-yard line. Another big carry by Friesen, as they're going to take him all the way down to the 2 after a gain of 15.
Yeah, and that offensive line doing a great job. Trayton Olson coming in at right tackle with a little double team.
1st and goal from the 3. Back to Friesen. In the hole again, following the middle of that offensive line through, and paving the way for Nathan Friesen is Nathan Weller and Brody Chambers. Actually, Brody was not in there that time, but they did follow Weller through. And as you just said, Trayton Olson in there on the push for Southeast of Saline up front. It's the 3rd touchdown of the night for Nathan Friesen.
Yeah, and once again, another 5-play drive capped off by another 6 points for the Southeast of Saline defense, really putting them in these positions.
2-point conversion, ready to go. Pitch out, right-hand side, Cameron Whitty, and he's going to dive for the end zone and cash it in. 46 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Southeast of Saline leads it big. They're up 36-0 over Chaparral as you watch on Salina Post and listen on KINA.
Citizens State Bank has been serving Kansans for over 100 years. We are a full-service bank that can service your personal, business, and agricultural lending and deposit needs. Citizens State Bank offers 24/7 convenience with mobile deposit, online banking, and our ATM conveniently located in front of the building. Stop by and see our friendly and helpful staff. Citizens State Bank at 600 Maple Street in Gypsum, Kansas. Citizens State Bank and Trust Company is a proud supporter of the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Still working our way through first quarter action. A drive there by Southeast of Saline that ends up in a Nathan Friesen 3-yard touchdown run. It's his third touchdown of the night and his 15th of the season. Cameron Whitty capped the drive with a 2-point conversion run to the right-hand side. And here in the first quarter with 46 seconds left to go, Southeast of Saline has a 36-0 lead.
Man, really clicking on all cylinders right now. Special teams in the kicking game really playing extremely well in coverage to pin Chaparral deep.
Wyatt Boyd on the kick, right down the middle of the field again, dangling a little bit to the right hash. It's going to take a bounce. Put Kyler Smith back within the 5. He's out to the 15, and then taken down there on good coverage from Southeast of Saline. Coming in, making the tackle that time is Trey Droege.
Yeah, and Amarion Hollab was the first one down there and actually was trying to break free of a Chaparral return man and just really got tackled right in front of the official. And a great job once again by really all 11 on this special teams unit on kickoff, pinning Chaparral deep in their own territory.
As we talked about, 32 teams enter tonight with a chance for a state title. Will be cut in half by midnight. Here's the give, straight up the gut. This is one of the few rushing plays for Chaparral as they take it off to the right guard. Jalen Cushenberry gets the carry. 5 yards.
Good play right there by Chaparral. Kind of got a great push on the offensive line from all 5 of them to allow Cushenberry to hit the hole, kind of shed one blocker and get 5 yards on that play.
Cushenberry came in as the leading rusher on this team. He's a junior. They just don't run the ball a whole lot. They only average 39 yards rushing per game. Their offense in the state of Kansas is ranked 30th in Class 2A, as that is the end of the first quarter. So far, it's all Trojans here at the campus of Kansas Wesleyan. Southeast of Saline, 36. Chaparral, 0. At the end of the first quarter, we'll be back with more second quarter action here on KINA and SalinaPost.com, brought to you by Everhart Precision Ag.
When does normal acute pain become abnormal chronic pain? Chronic pain can be one of 2 types, nociceptive and neuropathic. Each type differs based on what causes it, what it feels like, and what treatments may relieve it. Neuropathic pain can often be managed by a therapy called neurostimulation or spinal cord stimulation. If you suffer from chronic pain, ask your primary care physician for a referral to the Salina Pain Clinic. Our pain specialist will discuss the right options to manage your pain. Online at salinapainclinic.org.
The Appliance Center. It's where you go to shop for washers, dryers, kitchen appliances, furniture, pellet grills, TVs, and so much more. If you are looking for a local, family-owned business, visit the Appliance Center. We're in the big red and white building on South Broadway in Salina. Come experience the Appliance Center difference.
Salina Post and KINA, your home for all things Trojan. The Southeast of Saline Trojan sports stream live on the Salina Post, and you can always listen at 910 AM, 107.5 FM, or at 910KINA.com.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
For Chaparral, the Roadrunners now on the left-hand side of the field, and a near interception. It went right off the hands that time of Jalen Cushenberry and nearly got picked off by Nathan Friesen. Ball falls incomplete, and Chaparral will live for another down. 3rd and 7 coming up as they have the football at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, Nathan Friesen read that one extremely well. Kind of went up 3 or 4 yards, read the quarterback's eyes, dropped out. Usually I go to it's a good thing that's why he's on defense. He has no hands, but that's not the case here at Southeast.
3rd down now. 3rd down and 6. Walker throws it out. Nice little quick slant there that time. Really close to the sticks as they continue to battle. Looks like they may give him this by just a step as Kyler Smith got the positive yards that time. We'll give him 7 and the first down for the Roadrunners.
Yeah, and this is the 6th time that Chaparral's had the ball here now early in the second, and that is their first down of this game.
Unbelievable. It comes at the 29-yard line. Just underway here, second quarter. Glad you could join us here on KINA Also, live stream video on SalinaPost.com. Here's Cushenberry off the left-hand side. Looked like he had a window, but that window was just slammed shut as Grady Gebhardt comes from his linebacker spot, and Southeast of Saline's leading tackler grabs the ankles and throws Cushenberry for a loss of about a yard.
Yeah, Grady doing a great job from that right as he kind of comes in on a blitz and then sheds the tackler and goes right over for a gain of about 1 yard. Really good, smart heads-up play there by Grady Gebhardt.
Nose of the football sitting at the 29-yard line. 2nd down and 10. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Defensive line shift by Southeast of Saline, and Bryson Lippold knocks one out of the air. That time Walker was looking for Cale Greavy out on the left-hand side, and for the 2nd consecutive week, Bryson Lippold nearly had an interception.
Yeah, and that play might have surprised Bryson Lippold himself. He's kind of up at the line and then drops back, and as soon as he turns around, the ball's about right in front of his face, but a good job of getting that right arm up and knocking it down to bring up 3rd down and long again for Chaparral.
Just talking to Coach Gebhardt during the week, he really liked the way his defense was practicing. He felt that they were probably at the best point that they have been all year, and I think we're seeing the product of that here on the game field as Southeast of Saline is still leading 36-0. Here's Walker now wanting to throw as he's under pressure. He does get it out. Lippold out there to make the tackle, and it's only going to be a gain of about 1, maybe, and Walker is down.
Yeah, Josiah Monday was the one that came in on that. Josiah kind of maybe a little shaken up himself. I don't know, hard to tell on what happened there, but he comes in untouched once again as Walker's still down on the field.
So Walker really kind of attending to that left arm area. I'm not sure why, if it was just a simple mistake or what, but after that last incompletion over there that was broken up by Bryson Lippold, the game clock continued to run. I don't think we're in that spot yet of this game where we should be seeing that, so it might have just been a mistake. 10:15 left to go. The benches are going back to their sidelines here, and we will step away and take a timeout. Player down for Chaparral. We will take a break. 10:15 left to go here in the second quarter. Southeast leads at 36-0 on KINA.
Home Automotive Center in Abilene and Salina has been named Dealer Raider in 2023 for Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. What's that mean? It means when you buy a vehicle at Home Automotive, you will receive the absolute best in service now for the 11th consecutive year in Abilene and the first for the new Salina location. Home Automotive just keeps exceeding your expectations because you are the #1 priority, and that is just one reason why. When you shop at Home Automotive Center in Abilene and Salina, you're going to be glad you did.
Stardust Trophy Downtown Salina has all the cool football medals and trophies your team needs for its players when their practice session pays off in big wins. Choose from tons of trophy styles and customize it exactly as you want. Stardust Trophy even has special trophies just for fantasy football leagues. Just for fun, choose football bobblehead trophies. Got an autographed or special football? Show it off in a special acrylic showcase from Stardust Trophy. 121 South Santa Fe, downtown Salina.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Jack Walker off the field after that 3rd down play where he was banged up. Chaparral will punt it away. This a high punt that will test the return team for Southeast of Saline for the first time. Cameron Whitty at the 45, 50. Cuts it back to the 40, to the 30, looking for a block, and he's going to be run out of bounds by a Roadrunner at the 20-yard line, saving a touchdown as Tice Paff, as he took Cameron Whitty out of bounds at the 20-yard line. There is a flag on the play, as right now it is a return of about 35 yards, but we have to check the laundry. Looks definitely post-punt. So it might bring Southeast of Saline back here as we check with the official.
During the return, block in the back, return team. Bring him in.
It's a man of few words, isn't he? It is 10 minutes left to go. Southeast of Saline will be taken back now on their own side of the 50-yard line. And looks like maybe it could be their worst field position start of the night at their own 35. And I think that really sums up how this game has gone.
Yeah, you're exactly right. This is only the 2nd play that Southeast has ran in their own territory in this first half.
Daniel Kerr has Grady Gebhardt in the backfield with him. Receivers in tight for Southeast of Saline. First offensive possession of the second quarter. They'll put it out here on the edge to Evan Watkins. He's at the 40, takes on a Roadrunner, still moving his way to the 49-yard line. Evan Watkins dropping that shoulder, and his buddy Tucker Thaxton coming over and as excited as anybody, as we have really seen the emergence of Evan Watkins in the last 2 or 3 games now for Southeast.
Yeah, and I know he's ready to play as he takes on Anthony Patterson over there on that far sideline.
49-yard line now. Kerr will hand it off to Gebhardt. He'll come left, get through an ankle tackle. 45, 40, looking for a road runner. Now running away. 30, 20, 10, 5. Grady Gebhardt in the end zone again. His 3rd carry of the night and his 3rd touchdown of the night. Grady Gebhardt, this time from 51 yards away.
And maybe that's the first time, Devin, that we've seen that Chaparral player had a good angle. And Grady Gebhardt just mashes the gas and shows that he also has that breakaway speed, just like everybody else on this Southeast team. We have talked about it week in and week out, that this overall speed of this team from top to bottom, from offensive lineman to running back, is just extremely well. And that was well blocked on the outside. Grady Gebhardt makes one move, gets up the sideline, and outruns the defense.
Extra point kick pending. Wyatt Boyd's kick is up, and it slashes right through the middle of the uprights. 9:40 left to play. Southeast of Saline leads at 43-0 over the Roadrunners of Chaparral right here on KINA.
Does your free checking put more cash in your account? Does it give you free access to ATMs nationwide? If not, tap into super-powered free Kasasa Cash Banking Checking at the Bank of Tesca. Visit bankoftesca.com to learn more. Qualifications, rules, and limitations apply. Rates, rewards, and restrictions may vary by account. Contact the Bank of Tesca for details. Member FDIC.
We're growing your way. We're the Bank of Tesca.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Always more than meets the eye and a lot of touchdown plays. It's the stuff that you don't see or you don't talk about. And on that play, Russ, it was good blocking out on the edge.
Yeah, downfield, Tucker Thaxton kind of made an initial block that the defender kind of tried to shug off and take 2 steps backwards, and then Tucker just able to re-engage, turn him to the outside, allow Gebhardt to cut into the middle and then back to the side once he cleared him, and just throttled up immediately and just outran everybody on this Roadrunner defense.
When Grady came off of that block back to the inside, as you said, it almost looked like he was going to take on that defensive back, but then realized, you know what, I'm just going to outrun this guy. They might be the Roadrunners, but I'm going meet me all the way to the end zone. And this kick by Wyatt Boyd goes out of bounds, so Chaparral will have their best starting position of the night. Brody Chambers coming down. He looks at Wyatt Boyd, just throws his hands in the air like, come on, bro. What are you doing that for? Brody goes over and gives him a high five and just says, well, we just got a bigger challenge now on our defensive unit. Chaparral will start out here at the 35.
Yeah, and they're going to get the ball with 9:40 here to go in the second quarter and see if Chaparral can get really anything going. 2 first downs tonight.
9 carries between Gebhardt and Friesen. 6 touchdowns.
I'm not good at math, but that's really good.
Can put your shoe back on now. I saw that coming off there. So we'll have to see who comes out and plays quarterback now for Chaparral. Looks like they are going to go with a different quarterback as we scramble through all of our stuff.
Daniel Schmidt.
Okay. He's going to hand it off to the running back. Coming out to the right-hand side for a loss of 2 is Jalen Cushenberry. His 3rd carry of the night, total of 2 yards.
And nothing flashy really about that play, but I want to just the field vision of Gannon Jacobson right there, coming down from his safety spot, taking the right angle, head in front, right at the hips. Beautiful open field tackle, and the defensive line stringing that one all the way out, allowing Jacobson to come up and make that tackle.
Daniel Schmidt is a 125-pound freshman into the fray now for the Roadrunners. He'll have Cushenberry to his right hip. 2nd down and 12. Under pressure, unloads it. A bobble, but then a catch by Roadrunner receiver, and a first down for Chaparral. He put it right in the hands of Ty Hadsel, who makes his 2nd catch of the night. And the Roadrunners are going to go from the 28 to the 48 and get a gain. They're at the 33. Gain of 15 on the play.
Yeah, Schmidt did a great job right there, standing in the pocket and knowing he was probably going to take a shot, but delivered that one right on the numbers to the receiver and allow them to get the first down.
Out to the 48-yard line now are the Road Runners. 2 wide receivers on the left, 3 on the right. Schmidt back to pass. Under pressure, Chambers is going to flatten him like a pancake, and that ball is incomplete. Chambers, as he usually does, will help up the quarterback and go back to the line of scrimmage and start it all again.
Schmidt, a freshman at 125 pounds, and Brody Chambers at a sophomore coming in at 281. And he's lucky he got rid of that football in that split second he did.
Has Brody ever been 125 pounds?
Probably not. 3rd grade, maybe.
He is so athletic for his size. I mean, it's easy to be that size, but, man, he is just awesome. So much fun to watch. 2nd down and 10. Here's Schmidt with a handoff. Going again to his running back, Cushenberry, and that play is blown up by Deacon Bear. We haven't called Deacon's name a lot on defense. He's been in a couple special teams plays, but that time Deacon on that defensive line along with Josiah Monday and Brody Chambers able to hold that play down for a 1-yard loss.
And Deacon Bear he was rushing to the left-hand side of the offense, his right, noticed he was blocked, put a spin move on right there at the midfield stripe and was able to come around and make that tackle. So a very heads-up play by Deacon Bear.
Back to the 47-yard line. 3rd down and 11. Schmidt back to pass, puts it on the left-hand sideline. Cameron Woody in coverage. Watch that ball sail over his head. Out of bounds, and it is incomplete. 4th down again coming up here for Chaparral. 43-0, 7:57 left to go here in the second quarter. Stay with us at halftime. We'll hook up with the best cross-country coach in the state of Kansas, and probably even further if you want to stretch the borders. That is Wade Castleman. And if the cross-country runners from southeast of Saline on the boys and girls are listening, good luck to you. We are all rooting for you as you go to Rimrock tomorrow and chase those state titles. Good luck to everybody on southeast of Saline squad tomorrow. Have a productive day and bring home the banners. 4th down and 11 here. Chaparral has a look like they may go for it with Daniel Schmidt at quarterback. Rush straight up the middle. Schmidt will unload it, and it's a pass that's going to be deflected and caught. What a catch. Schmidt paid the price back here as he was leveled, but the ball goes up in the air and then was caught off the deflection and then back into his hands.
Yeah, Tice Paff right there doing that was great concentration by him. He is a big guy at 180 pounds. 6'2", and just goes up and off the tip, keeps his hands up, kind of falls right in and snags it, and then had the awareness, not only that, but to look down and make sure his feet were in bounds, scooted one leg in, got his foot in bounds, and now Chaparral running their first play inside of Southeast territory.
And it goes for 29 yards, and why not? Tice Paff is probably the best Roadrunner player on either side of the ball. And here's Schmidt back to the end zone. And boy, this kid throws a really nice ball. Holy heck, Kyler Smith into the end zone, turned around. It was really good coverage by southeast of Saline. Makes you cringe a little bit, but with southeast of Saline on defense, you're thinking, okay, if this kid's going to come in and sling it all over the yard, this is great practice.
Yeah, Daniel Schmidt has a cannon of an arm for a freshman and a smaller guy, and he's taking a shot, especially on that play. It looked like it might have been Bryson Lippold coming around, kind of getting a shot on him, just missing that sack, but he's staying in there and playing tough.
Converted that 4th down at midfield. Now it's 2nd down and 10 from the southeast of Saline 24-yard line. Here's the fake. Actually, they do give it off to running back Jalen Cushenberry, and Cushenberry loses 2 yards.
Yeah, and good job right there of settling in with this defensive line and stopping that run from Cushenberry. This will be the 8th play of this drive for Chaparral. So the defense hasn't seen anything more than 5 plays tonight. So getting some time on the field and really have to batten down and maybe look to dial up a little pressure as Schmidt has proven himself that he can throw the football.
Long time here for Chaparral. They've taken the play clock down inside 10 to 8. Now they'll come to the line of scrimmage. They have to hurry, though, down to 4. Down to 3, down to 1. They get the snap away. Here's Schmidt, back to throw again, wants to slant, and it's going to be poked out of there from behind by Wyatt Boyd. Time now for a check of the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. When we look at Abilene, the Cowboys are up on Arc City in the second quarter, 26-0. Also looking at the game opposite of us tonight, and the winner of this game will get the winner of Southeast of Saline and Chaparral. Kingman leads Hillsboro in the second quarter, 18-0.
McPherson on top, 28-0 over Mulvane. Great Bend up on Salina Central, 17-6 with 9 seconds left to go in the second quarter.
6:34 left to go here, 43-0 southeast of Saline. 5 wide receivers, 3 of them on the left. Schmidt looking that way the whole time. Here comes Deacon Bear, and it's going to be a sack. Back at the 32-yard line, Deacon Bear with the bear hug. Takes down Daniel Schmidt for the first quarterback sack on Daniel Schmidt, the freshman, and that'll back him up in a 4th down coming up.
Yeah, now you're put in a really tough situation if you're Chaparral. You get that big play as the chain gang kind of threw the chains down right there. That was 4th down, so it is going to bring up 1st down for Southeast.
Thank you very much. Southeast will take over now at the 33-yard line.
I think I'm going to bundle up and go see what Mitch Gebhardt has to say here in about 6 minutes.
Here's Kerr, handing it off straight up the gut. Friesen. He will just get about 1 yard on that play. Nathan Friesen, 7 carries, 47 yards. Clock continues to roll now, 6:10 left to go. We'll have Mitch Gebhardt, as Russ said, right at the conclusion of the second quarter. So they're going to stop the clock here. Looks like we have an injury to a Roadrunner out on the field once again, and the clock will stop with 6 minutes even left to go. So we'll talk to Mitch Gebhardt when the final horn goes for halftime. We will also hook up with Wade Castleman, a chance to sit down with him earlier this week and talk about Southeast of Saline cross country and the time of the year that they all work for. Also have stats from the first half and scores on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Right now it's 43-0 here. Southeast of Saline is leading over Chaparral. 32 teams came into tonight. It'll be cut in half, as we continue to say here, making that march. Your goal is to play on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And, of course, the Class 2A state title game is here at Salina Stadium. What a treat that would be for Southeast of Saline to get into that game. They were so close a year ago before their hopes were ended in double overtime in Kingman. And they get a chance now to get that one back. And there's been an update in that score now. Hillsboro has scored, and it's 18-6. So we thought that game may be interesting just because of the ability of Hillsboro to pass the football. And Kingman will find out probably quite a bit about them, too. Remember when Southeast of Saline played at Hillsboro, they put up over 500 yards of offense on the Hillsboro Trojans, but they also had 5 turnovers in that game. Kept the score close for a little while, and then eventually got out of hand. But I think we are all just kind of watching and waiting to see what Hillsboro and Kingman can do competitively with each other tonight. Of course, that game will be in Kingman. If Kingman wins or if Hillsboro wins, doesn't matter. Southeast of Saline next week will still host. 2nd down and 10 here, back ready to go. The Roadrunner has made their way to the sideline with the injured player. Go back to Nathan Friesen here. He jumps through the line of scrimmage, and he's going to be all the way to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 7 that time for Southeast of Saline's Nathan Friesen.
And that left side of the offensive line really doing a good job of creating that hole right there for Friesen.
Out to the 40-yard line. Southeast of Saline back ready to go. 2 wide receivers to the left, a single to the right. Watkins is in tight. They're going to bubble it out here to Thaxton. He catches it at the 39. Look out down the left-hand sideline. Back to the middle of the field. Thaxton trying to outrun everybody, and it looks like he might. Gets a couple of blocks. Thaxton inside the 20, inside the 10, working towards the pylon with a hurdle and a flag on the play. Tucker Thaxton, using all his speed and athleticism, outran everybody to the end zone. And it may be a bad block here by Southeast of Saline inside of the 10.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Nathan Friesen was with his running mate down there trying to get that block. Probably an unnecessary block that you didn't need to throw out. But let's go back to the start of that play. The blocking by the wide receivers once again was nothing short of exceptional.
Blocking the back on the offense. It's a spot foul. We'll go 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It'll be 1st down.
Okay. So they said it's a spot foul. They're going to move it back here to the 16. That means it happens at the 6. So a 54-yard pass play, and then assess the penalty. We'll put Southeast of Saline 1st down at the 16. Hope that makes sense. Here's Kerr, handing it off. Friesen bounces it out to the right-hand side and then slung down from behind just as he got inside of the 15-yard line to the 14-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play by Nathan Friesen.
Hey, Devin, did you happen to see what Brody Chambers just did right there?
I did not. Tell me about it.
He is blocking on the left side. The play is going to the right, and 75 meets 75 for Chaparral, and Brody had his guy shoved over here on his back at the near side 20 right in front of me.
From the 14, southeast of Saline, 2nd down and 7. 3 wide receivers on the left-hand side. Here comes Kerr rolling out that way. Now he's going to look back to the middle of the field. Has a roadrunner right in his face, and then he's going to throw it away and save that possession for another day. Coming in was linebacker and leading tackler on the Chaparral team, Dalen Blair.
Yeah, and just unable. Wyatt Boyd from that far side running a drag route, the corner in the back half of the end zone. Just pressure was on him early, and he was unable to see him in the back of the end zone.
8 of 11 throwing the football. That's just a 3rd incompletion for Daniel Kerr tonight. Daniel has also been really quiet in the rushing game. He has let Nathan Friesen and Grady Gebhardt do most of the heavy lifting, and that's not always a bad thing. You preserve your quarterback, right, for postseason. You don't want that guy getting banged up.
Yeah, no need for him to carry the ball if he doesn't have to.
3 guys on the left at wide receiver. Kerr back to pass again. Rips one down through the end zone. It's going to go high over the top of Cameron Whitty. And incomplete will bring up 4th down. And the clock will stop here on that incomplete pass.
Yeah, Brody Chambers getting up a little slow right there. He's able to run off on the sideline. He didn't want to come out. Straight, and Olsen is going to check into the game right here.
It is 4th down for southeast of Saline. Brody will come over and immediately get the attention of the trainers from Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. With southeast of Saline every game, home or away. 4th down and 7. Southeast of Saline needs to get inside the 8 to move the chains. Here's play action to Friesen. Kerr now rolling out, has the football on his left shoulder, tries to rip it into Cameron Whitty, and that ball is going to be knocked incomplete. And a turnover on downs here, a big stand by Chaparral's defense, as Daniel Kerr threw 3 straight incomplete passes to end that drive.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back, Devin, like you said, Thaxton scored in that touchdown in that block by Nathan Friesen that probably didn't really need to happen, but, nonetheless, you can't take it back. It did. So the first unproductive drive for southeast of Saline tonight.
Had a bunch of those last week in the first half, didn't they? 250 yards of offense at halftime. They only had 8 points to show for it. We kind of felt that game would shift at Ellsworth, and it did in a big way in the third quarter. Chambers flat on his back here on the training table. The trainer working on his left leg a little bit. 1st down and 10 here for the Roadrunners. They started out their own 14-yard line. Defensive line shift at the last second for Southeast. They try to bounce it out now for a run. It will be a positive run this time for the Chaparral running game to Jalen Cushenberry. And Cushenberry this time will get a 4-yard gain. It's the 2nd longest run of the night.
Yeah, and Cushenberry's still down on the field.
Be the 3rd Roadrunner that's been down on the field tonight. Chambers pops up off the training table when Mitch Gebhardt comes over to see how he's doing. Looks like he's going to be okay as he flexes that left knee. There's a lot of athleticism on those legs of Brody Chambers. He's out there moving around like a sports car. 4:15 left to go here. Now the athletic trainer will have to shift his focus from Chambers out onto the field to the Chaparral player who they are now helping up. Coming over, getting some coaching during this timeout is Malachi Hopkins, the sophomore. All the players on the field down to a knee. As you alluded to, Russ, this is running back Jalen Cushenberry for Chaparral. Cushenberry will limp over to the sideline. 4:15 left to play here, 2nd quarter. A long first half of play. A lot of passes being thrown here in this game. Chaparral just themselves so far have thrown 19 passes here in the first half. And right now they are facing a 2nd down and 6 at the 18-yard line. Two wide receivers on each side for the Roadrunners. Here's a pass out To the right-hand side, it comes from the arms of Dylan Schmidt, and he's going to hit Tice Paff once again. It's a short little out route for Paff, but it's still going to pick up about 4 yards and bring up 3rd down and 2.
And even better, Brody Chambers now coming back into the game as Drew Weller coming off.
Thank you for the update. Clock continuing to roll now as we approach the 3.5-minute mark. 3rd down and 2 coming up here for Chaparral, operating from their own 21-yard line. One wide receiver to the right. It's a stack of 3 to the left. Schmidt wants to run it. Chambers, first one there. He ducks under Chambers' big arm, but then he runs right into Deacon Bear, who is a stone wall at the 20. That'll be a loss of 2 for Dylan Schmidt. And 4th down and 4 now coming up.
And Brody Chambers being the first one through right there, had 2 guys on him trying to block him, and just no match for him right there as he kind of makes initial contact.
Back to the 21 where it's 4th down now. Looks like Chaparral's going to keep their offense on the field here. They've gone for it on 4th down several times. It's 4th and 3. Here we go. From the 21-yard line. All the Roadrunners looking over to the sideline. 8 seconds left on the play clock. Schmidt now asks for the snap. He drops back, wants to go to the left-hand side. It's picked off Nathan Friesen, and he'll walk this one in. Friesen, making up for the bad block he had on Tucker Thaxton's touchdown run, takes this one out of the air at the 20-yard line and just walks it into the end zone on the right-hand side. A pick 6 on Nathan Friesen's first interception of the season.
So I'm not going to say names or nothing down here, Devin, but the few people I'm standing here by go, if they go to pass it in the middle of the field, Nathan Friesen has been reading this quarterback extremely well, and don't be surprised if something comes over the middle. And that is exactly what happened. Friesen making up for that block in the back on that other touchdown, coming back to get one himself.
Friesen makes a pick 6. Now Wyatt Boyd on for the extra point kick. It is up, and it is true right down the center. 2:36 left to go here in the second quarter. Southeast of Saline scored their second touchdown of the quarter. Now the Trojans lead it. 2:36 left to go, 50-0. Southeast of Saline on KINA.
APAC Kansas Incorporated has been building the Heartland from the ground up for over a century. From the supply of aggregate materials, hot mix asphalt, and concrete to the construction of roads and bridges, we do it all. You've seen our trucks, and now we want to hire you. APAC in Salina is growing, and we are hiring for all positions. From truck drivers to mechanics, general laborers, and construction, APAC has your next career. For more details, visit the job links page at salinapost.com. Great pay and benefits. APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
First pick 6 of the year by Nathan Friesen. First interception of the year by Nathan Friesen. And the extra point kick by Wyatt Boyd, who is now 2 of 2 kicking the football after touchdowns tonight. Puts Southeast of Saline up by a score of 50-0. So we push our way towards halftime here on the campus of Kansas Wesleyan University. Glad you could join us for Southeast of Saline football once again as we broadcast live here on KINA. It's 9:10 a.m., also 107.5 FM. If you want to watch and follow along on live stream video, we've taken the video and matched it with the radio broadcast. And that high-definition video looks phenomenal right now on salinapost.com. And it is brought to you by Everhart Precision Ag here in the first round of the playoffs. Here's Wyatt Boyd on the kick, angling it left once again. This one's going to be received at the 20-yard line by the Roadrunners. Now they reverse field, go back the other way to the left, running towards their sideline. Malachi Hopkins over there to turn him back in, and they will do so to Trey Droege. And then a flag is thrown about 25 yards by the official standing way back here at the 20-yard line, probably about 40 yards away from the play.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one this is going to go against, Chaparral or Gannon Jacobson, but there was a lot of battling going on, and he had it stared down the whole way on this near side of the field.
Well, we will find out after the officials have their zebra huddle here in the middle of the field. They will confer. They will check all the wind speed and the barometers, humidities, which are probably changing every 30 minutes with the weather change. Here we go.
During the play, personal foul, return team, unnecessary roughness. It'll be 15 yards from the end of the run. First down, Chaparral.
That's a big penalty here, Russ. It's a roughing penalty, basically a 15-yarder that will come all the way back to the 25.
Yeah, and like you said, that field, he had already turned and crossed the center of the field and was all the way on the left hash when this flag came out, but Gannon was trying to get away from the blocker, and he just held on to him and then just started shoving him when Gannon tried to run away from him.
So back to the 25-yard line go the Roadrunners. First down and 10. They still have freshman quarterback Daniel Schmidt into the game. Daniel will hand it off on a stretch play, going to one of the receivers this time. It's Keaton Bowman, and Bowman is going to be taken down for a loss of about 3.
And Gebhardt read that one extremely well. Grady running lateral, and as soon as he saw an opening, planted that foot in the ground and just came up and destroyed the running back for Chaparral.
Grady Gebhardt came into this game in his sophomore season, 78 tackles. He leads the team in tackles, just a phenomenal number, and really gets done at all levels when you look at this Southeast of Saline team. Cameron Whitty second in tackles, Brody Chambers third in tackles. So that's your 2 linebackers. Also, Whitty playing defensive back a lot. Chambers, of course, up front. Now this Chaparral Roadrunner play will be stopped before it gets started again.
False start. Offense. 5 yards. Repeat. Second down.
So the Roadrunners continue to go backwards here and dig themselves into a deeper hole, as they are now back inside of the 20 at the 18-yard line. Clock continues to roll, 1:39 left to go. 3 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Daniel Schmidt has come in relief of Jack Walker at quarterback, and the freshman has played pretty well. Here's Schmidt back to throw, wants to throw the out to the right-hand side, and a big hit by Cameron Whitty. The catch was made, but the hit by Whitty on Ty Hadsel still has Hadsel down at about the 23-yard line. It was a gain of 5, but Whitty got there almost exactly the same time as the ball.
Yeah, Whitty was really standing there, kind of waiting for the ball. He didn't have enough time to jump the route, but timed it just right. As soon as he heard the football touch the receiver, he just annihilated him on the sideline.
3rd and 12 now, inside a minute left to go. Again, stick with us here after the conclusion of the second quarter. We'll go down on the field. Russ will get comments from head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Schmidt asks for the shotgun snap. Looks to the right. There's nothing there. Now he's being chased by Deacon Bear, and he's going to be sacked by Deacon Bear for the second time tonight. Back around the 10-yard line. Deacon Bear gets to the quarterback as he gets a big loss for the Southeast of Saline defense. All the way back to the 11-yard line. It's a loss of 12.
And I think if you're Chaparral, you maybe let the half run out right here. You don't have to run another play, so kind of stop the bleeding and go into the half.
Deacon Bear just came in there, got enough of the jersey on Daniel Schmidt that he was able to sling him to the turf, and that will be the last play of the first half. So a productive half, really an offensive blitz by Southeast of Saline. They took all the cues from their defense in that first quarter. Southeast of Saline leading 36-0 at the end of the first quarter. Chaparral, though, winning the time of possession here in the second quarter, as they are able to keep the ball away from Southeast of Saline. Of course, Southeast of Saline had the turnover on downs inside the 20-yard line, came away empty on that, but the Trojans still leading 50-0.
Coach, 50-0, and we can talk about the offense and how productive they've been, but this defense really came out and set the tone early in this game.
Yeah, they did, and I thought our kickoff team set the tone early on too. There a couple times. I thought, they're trying to get to the other side, and our kids did a good job of running down. The last one maybe not so much, but I thought our defense is playing really well. They've got 2 or 3 first downs, so our defense is playing well.
Yeah, and to the offensive side, very productive. 3-4 play drives for touchdowns. Just talk about how well the offensive line is dominating this game.
And that's what it is. When you have drives that are like that, when you score, obviously we had to get people blocked. So and I think the guys are doing a good job of blocking up front and then blocking downfield also. When you have those longer runs, 20-plus runs, those receivers got to be blocking well for each other.
All right, Coach, good luck second half.
Thank you.
50-0, our score here at halftime. Southeast of Saline in control of this one against Chaparral. When we come back, we will step away and we will talk Southeast of Saline cross country. A big week this week and a big day tomorrow for Southeast of Saline's cross country runners. We'll talk to Wade Castleman when we come back at halftime. That will be all brought to you with Wade Castleman by L. Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com. Halftime report starts now. Brought to you by Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories. The Trojans lead the run runners at halftime 50-0 on KINA.
Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Kickoff Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Kickoff Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
Citizens State Bank has been serving Kansans for over 100 years. We are a full-service bank that can service your personal, business, and agricultural lending and deposit needs. Citizens State Bank offers 24/7 convenience with mobile deposit, online banking, and our ATM conveniently located in front of the building. Stop by and see our friendly and helpful staff. Citizens State Bank at 600 Maple Street in Gypsum, Kansas. Citizens State Bank and Trust Company is a proud supporter of the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
Salina Regional's Orthopedic and Sports Medicine is your home field advantage. Our physicians include sports medicine physician Dr. Matthew Pyle, along with orthopedic surgeons Drs. Travis Rump and Todd Riley, plus an A-team of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists. We are ready when you need us to help prevent injuries, enhance performance, or to heal through surgery and rehabilitation. For area athletes to weekend warriors, the home field advantage starts at Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine.
Looking to take the next step in your career? Consider an MBA from Kansas Wesleyan. You can complete the program fully online in as little as 1 year, and your last class is free. Want to be a part of one of the region's fastest growing universities? Visit kwu.edu/MBA today. That's kwu.edu/MBA.
Don't get caught on empty. Fill up on all your basic needs at Asaria Oil and Hardware. We want to be sure you are fueled up and ready for whatever may be around the corner, no matter what time of day. Now live at Asaria Oil and Hardware, 24/7 pumps. No matter what time of day or night, your gas and diesel tanks can rely on us. During regular business hours, you can get your favorite pizza and snacks to have enough energy to win the day. Asaria Oil and Hardware, located in Asaria at the corner of Center and Main. We'll fill you up.
It's mid-season, and that means playoff time for the Trojans, L. Garrettson. The games get bigger and the stakes are high.
Sounds like the real estate game, and just like the coaches are planning for their biggest part of the year, you can make plans for your family's real estate adventures. Maybe you're wanting to invest in a rental before the holidays hit, or maybe it's time to look at upsizing for the kids or downsizing for the folks. Country or town, big or small, one call does it all. Buy or sell, call Winnell at SalinaHomes.com.
This is the Trojan Halftime Report. Coming up, a first half recap, stats, interviews, and a look at other area games. Let's head back to the stadium for Trojan Halftime on KINA.
Back here on halftime of the first playoff football game, what the state calls week number 9 in all their originality. And we're at halftime here, a chance for us to catch up on Southeast of Saline Cross Country. Not a lot of people could catch up with Southeast of Saline Cross Country at the regionals as Coach Wade Castleman joined us. Boy, Coach, you had another outstanding performance at regionals last weekend. How was your day overall?
It went really well. It went as we were hoping it would, and everybody ran to the best of their abilities like we hoped they would. And, it was a great day to be a Southeast Trojan cross-country runner.
Running in Council Grove, let's first start with the girls for the Lady Trojans in first place as a team, 41 points. West Franklin was second with 84. Osage City in third with 102. When you look at runners, again, 2 freshmen leading the way for you was 7th, 8th, then a junior with Abby Comerford coming in and 9th. You also had runners at 11th, 16th, 25th, and 26th on the girls' side. How'd your ladies run on Saturday?
They ran very well. They stayed packed up like we had hoped they would, and that's kind of been something that we've kind of switched to this season, mid-season. I think our home meet was the first time that we had tried pack running, and we just don't have that front runner, that's going to be in the top 3 like we've had in the past. and which is okay. I mean, as long as we can stay packed together. Our time gap was incredible the other day. I mean, 37-second time gap between our first and fifth runner is really, really good. And, that's what we're hoping to do again Saturday at the state meet, because with that short time gap, you don't have as many people that can get in between your runners.
Short time gap equals more points, right?
Fewer points. Fewer points.
Yes, fewer points. Speaking of fewer points, the guy scores still just boggle my mind. When I'm looking at the final scores, Southeast of Saline's guys from regionals last weekend at Council Grove, 19 team points. When you take second place West Franklin, you can take 100 points off their score. They still lose by 3 points in second place. And this is it just seems like these guys just kind of get better and better when you look at terms of scores. How are they running in your eyes?
They're running very well right now. Braden Walker is going into the state meet. He hasn't lost a race yet this season. Levi and Caden and Jacob are staying consistent. We went 1, 2, 3, 4 in that order with those guys. But Ben Greyerholtz, I think, has been the big difference maker to get our score down lately. I mean, he ran another personal best last Saturday at regionals. He's just come along so far since his freshman year of high school. This is his first year of varsity experience, so we're expecting big things from him and hoping, that he can have another great race on Saturday.
Greyerholtz came in as the 5th runner for Southeast of Saline on the guys' side. In the meet, he was 9th overall, and in front of him for Southeast of Saline in the meet overall, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Not a bad outing there for the Trojans. So both teams now, Coach, qualify for the state meet coming up, of course, tomorrow. And this week is always a kind of a fun week for you to prepare. And I know that every single team, when they talk about postseason, you want to be playing your best, you want to be running your best, you want to be doing your peak performance at this time of the year. Do you think your runners are doing that? Do you think they're ready to go for tomorrow?
Oh, I think they're most definitely ready. We've been tapering off this week, backing way off on our mileage. And you can see in the kids, they almost get a little goofy that they have so much energy, extra energy and everything. And it's trying to keep them reeled in and staying focused, not messing around and do something that could potentially hurt them and everything. So, but yeah, we're doing some different things this week. We still did our hard workout this week and then backed off on the mileage and did some mileage on Wednesday, and then watched part of a McFarland USA movie, and we did the same for Thursday as well.
During this fall season, you and I talk a lot about weather, and I think weather will be a key on Saturday. You can never tell with a winter weather forecast, especially in the latter part of October, what exactly is going to happen. But right now, it doesn't look great 24 hours from now going into Saturday. Other than the weather, what could be your biggest opponent coming up on Saturday when you look at competition?
I think just staying focused and realizing, okay, yes, it may be, cold, it may be rainy, it may be very muddy, but we have to just realize that, our opponents are running in those same conditions. So I think it's going to come down to the team that is most focused and doesn't let the weather affect them mentally during that time. So, just staying in good position and taking care of business is going to be important.
Who are some teams you expect to see towards the top?
On the girls' side, our girls are probably the favorite. In the last season ranking, we were ranked first. Cheney girls were third, and Norton girls were second, and Wichita Trinity girls are going to be right there. So I think those are the 4 top teams in the girls' race on Saturday. So we've ran against Cheney earlier this year, and we ran against Norton up at the Lakeside Invitational, and we took care of business, but Norton was without their number 2 runner that day. She didn't finish the race. So, I think they're going to be even stronger, but we just have to go into it with the mindset, hey, we're the team that everybody is going to be gunning for, and just be ready to go on Saturday.
Just north of Lawrence at a familiar place, it is Rimrock Park, 11:10 is the start for the boys. The girls will start just before 1 o'clock at 12:55. Coach Wade Castleman in the Southeast of Saline Cross Country Group. Coach, best of luck to you. Always appreciate you spending time with us on a Friday night, and we will sure be rooting for you to bring home some more banners to put up in the gym this winter when you get done tomorrow at the cross country meet for state.
Thank you so much, Devin. We appreciate it.
Back with more Southeast of Saline halftime after this on KINA.
Frisbee Construction is a service organization for the commercial grain industry dedicated to giving you the best in planning, the best in quality, and the best of workmanship, and overall the best value for your dollar since 1949. Frisbee Construction specializes in new construction as well as remodel and repair of grain handling facilities throughout the Midwest. Frisbee Construction Company in Gypsum has emergency crews available as needed. For more information, go to frisbeeinc.com.
Maybe you don't play quarterback or make the highlight reel. Maybe you're not a high school athlete anymore. But just like an athlete, you can get first-class orthopedic care from Saline Ortho. Their doctors and staff strive to get you back to an injury-free, pain-free life as quickly as possible. Saline Ortho has a doctor on call 24/7 for all orthopedic injuries. So next time you're injured, trust the experts at Saline Ortho. Your voice, your choice, past, present, and future. See them online at salineortho.com.
Mary Maids in Salina offers house cleaning services you can see and feel. Your home is more than just a house. It's where memories are made and moments are cherished. Though life can be complicated, house cleaning shouldn't be. Mary Maids strives to take the stress out of your day so you can live your life your way. With more than 40 years experience and an advanced time-tested cleaning process, they can help you reclaim time with your loved ones. Find Mary Maids on Facebook or check out their website at marymaids.com.
Insurance is something we all need in our business, home, car, and life. But do you really understand what's covered? And most importantly, what you are paying for? Hi, this is Rob Carlson in the Salina office of Smart Insurance. Change is good, especially if you haven't looked at your insurance policy lately. I can help you understand what you need and where the gaps are in your coverage. We provide free quotes and take pride in looking out for you. Smart Insurance, with locations in Salina, Abilene, and Harrington. Give us a call today.
Suburban Appliance Center is your official dealer for Traeger grills. Check out this 6-in-1 versatile unit that grills, bakes, smokes, roasts, braised, and barbecues. Suburban is your exclusive dealer for the Traeger Timberline series, and they have your Traeger spices too. Suburban Appliance Center, they are locally owned and they offer appliance brands like Amana, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, and of course Maytag. Suburban also offers exceptional service. Suburban Appliance Center, 1900 South 9th.
Sage is your go-to source for industrial strength cleaning products, ice melt, floor equipment, paper, asphalt, and just about everything in between. Whether you're a maintenance supervisor, a small business, or just wanting your home to look amazing, stop by 732 North 9th Street in Salina, where we will be happy to assist you. You can also visit us at sageselects.com or call us at 309-1919. Sage Products, the right call every time.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back here at halftime, brought to you by Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories. About 5 minutes away from the start of the third quarter, 50-0, Southeast of Saline. Our first half stats look like this. For Chaparral, they have thrown a combination of 10 completions to 22 attempts, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 90 yards. Their passing game is a lot better than their rushing game. They've gained 90 in passing and lost 31 yards in rushing. Chaparral's total offense for the first half, 59 yards. Southeast of Saline, meanwhile, Daniel Kerr, 8 of 13, throwing the football around the yard. He has 181 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. His main targets so far, Tucker Thaxton, 4 catches, 121 yards. Cameron Whitty, 2 catches, 31 yards. Wyatt Boyd, a catch for 27. Evan Watkins, a catch for 2. In the rushing game, Nathan Friesen and Grady Gebhardt doing all the heavy lifting in the first half. Grady Gebhardt, 3 carries, 3 touchdowns, 93 yards. He is averaging 31 yards a carry. Nathan Friesen also has 3 touchdowns, 9 carries for him, 57 yards. Daniel Kerr, 2 carries, 11 yards. Cameron Whitty, a carry for 3 yards. Southeast of Saline's numbers at the half, 164 yards rushing, 181 yards passing, 345 total offensive yards in the first half for Southeast of Saline. Defensive plays, Deacon Bear has 2 quarterback sacks. Nathan Friesen has a pick 6 and a touchdown. So that is 4 touchdowns so far for Nathan Friesen. That brings us to a halftime score of 50-0, a 2-minute timeout, and back with an update on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard and third quarter action here from the campus of Kansas Wesleyan. Trojans lead the Roadrunners by half a century on KINA.
Farmers, as fall planting season winds down, it's time to start planting for next spring. Phillips Seed stands ready to work with you to nail down the best seed genetics for your operation. They can help you select from their top-performing corn hybrids and soybean varieties, as well as seed treatments to get your crops off to a fast start. Find them online at phillipsseed.com, Facebook, on X, or call 785-949-2204. That's 785-949-2204. Phillips Seed, serving, innovating, growing since 1985.
Get the compact tractor you've been dreaming of with $0 down and 0% interest. Prairie Land Partners is excited to offer exclusive and unbeatable prices on 1 through 5 series John Deere compact utility tractors. Tackle your hardest projects with ease from the seat of a John Deere and go easy on your finances with Prairie Land Partners. Stop by or give them a call to hear about their unbeatable fall pricing on all compact utility tractors. Some restrictions apply. See prairielandpartners.com for details.
Prairie Land Partners.
Are you looking for a local brokerage firm to help you with your Medicare, life insurance, and annuities? L&L Advisors is the #1 local Medicare supplement and insurance specialist. Medicare can be confusing. Let the experts at L&L Advisors help make sense of it. Stop by one of 3 locations in Salina or McPherson and speak to an agent about the needs of your family. L&L Advisors, main office at 717 Roach right off Crawford and in the Central Mall Salina and downtown McPherson. Based on honesty and trust, contact L&L Advisors today.
Fall is full of great activities that keep us on the road. When you return to home sweet home, your sewer backing up into the house is the last thing you want to find. Now is the time to dial up Salina Septic Service and their 24-hour service. They will find the problem, fix the problem, and prevent future problems with the Septic Plus Protection Club. Special pricing and worry-free maintenance. Salina Septic Service, taking care of you now and preventing septic problems in the future. Find them online at SalinaSepticService.com.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Just about ready for the start of the third quarter. Devin Haney, Russ Kossel back here at campus of Kansas Wesleyan and a check of our Bennington State Bank scoreboard.
Yeah, a few scores to go over.
Okay, maybe not.
A few scores to go over here.
We'll keep it right here. There are some surprises. Salina Central right now losing.
Yeah, losing.
And it's not even close. They have given up another touchdown as Salina Central is getting beat by Great Bend by a couple of touchdowns. 8:27 left to go here in that game. Sorry, in the third quarter. Scott City losing to Smoky Valley. Scott City beating Smoky Valley 34-6. Beloit over Lakin 24-0. Ellsworth over over Haven 35-0. Rock Creek over Chapman 40-6.
Yeah, and our good friend Tyler Henry calling that game. We talked about maybe if the wind would stay up, Rock Creek wouldn't be able to throw the ball around, but they're obviously doing that. Andale up big on Hugoton 38-0. Hoisington 26-0 over Phillipsburg. Abilene 26-6 over Arc City, and you probably already said this game, but obviously the game that folks that are concerned with Southeast of Saline are paying attention to is Kingman 18, Hillsborough 6 at the last update.
We will continue to keep an eye on that. Thank you for that, Big Sam, back at Studio Central, passing that score along.
And just got an update from Tyler Henry that says Rock Creek's up 40-6 at the half, and Rock Creek has 4 defensive touchdowns in that game.
Not good. Chaparral breaking a huddle here, and a little bit of attempted trickeration at the football, but now they're going to go ahead and, I assume, kick it away traditionally. 50-0 Southeast of Saline, set to get the ball back. This Chaparral kick will go to the 20-yard line. Bounces off the pads of Cameron Whitty, and Cameron has to go down and cover it up at the 23-yard line. That could have been a really bad start to the second half. as we will see probably a lot of new faces in different places. Here on the offensive side of the ball, Gannon Jacobson comes in, and he will start things here for Southeast of Saline as the clock will continue to run here after the halftime break for the third and fourth quarters. So Jacobson will take the controls of this Southeast of Saline offense, and a lot of new fellows around him as well. Jacobson takes the snap. Amarian Holub will take the carry, and he's broken out across the 30, 35, 40. Made contact there with a road runner and moves it in to just short of Chaparral territory at about the 42-yard line. It's a gain of 19 for Amarian Holub.
Yeah, and a good patient run there by Holub. He kind of looked like maybe Bryson Lippold right there coming around as a pulling tackle right there to lead block for Holland, but a good job by this offensive line for this next string that we'll try to get in here shortly.
42-yard line now is the spot. They fake it to Holub this time. Jacobson will take it. He is flirting with the 45 and has to get down as he has defensive players flying in on him. Most of the starters, it looks like, still out there for Chaparral as he got to the 45-yard line on a gain of 3. First carry of the night for Gannon Jacobson.
It looks like you're going to have Zach Klinda, Drew Weller, Bryson Lippold, Trayton Olson, Trey Droege out there on the offensive line.
Drew Weller taking over for his brother at center. Here is a pass out on the edge to Malachi Hopkins, and Hopkins to the 50-yard line. And that is going to be a gain of 5. 5 yards.
Really interested to see Gannon Jacobson come out here and maybe throw the football around a little bit just to kind of get, obviously we're assuming next year that he is going to get the keys to this Southeast offense.
Just across midfield to the 50-yard line. Here's pitch out to Amarian Holub. He's down the right-hand sideline, 30, 20, 10, and drug out of bounds at the 6. A 43-yard carry by Amarian Holub.
Zach Klinda was at about the 10-yard line. He was engaged for about 20 yards. Then he comes up and makes another block, but Amarian Holub showing that he does have the speed as well to get down the sideline. But Malachi Hopkins out here making a great block, as well as Jaden Kloster.
To the 6-yard line now, where it's first and goal for Southeast of Saline. They turn, give it to Holub. He sidesteps to the left, and he will get to about the 5, and then brought down there. 2 carries before that one, 62 yards for Amarian Holub. That time, just a yard. But holy cow, he has come in here with a lot of speed. He is averaging still, after that 1-yard carry, he is averaging 21 yards a carry. There's second down and goal at the 5 is Southeast of Saline. 8.5 minutes left to go here as we are just underway in the third. 3 wide receivers, left-hand side. Here's Jacobson faking it, breaks out of a tackle, now trying to string it out to the left-hand side, looking to take on a road runner, and he does so. He might have gained a yard or 2 as Jacobson looking to make more out of that play than what was really there. Just not blocked well up front, and he is going to get about 4 yards. Good job that time by Gannon Jacobson.
Yeah, shook free of a couple tacklers. It's Caden Berrigan going to check out, and Tyler Bramblett coming in at wide receiver.
Third down and goal at about the 1. Jacobson will put 2 wide receivers out to the right-hand side. They still have a slot back in there. That's Bryson Lippold. Here's Jacobson, quarterback draw, straight up the gut. He is going to cash it in for Southeast of Saline. 7:37 left to go in the third, and it's Gannon Jacobson with a 1-yard touchdown run.
And once again, whether what 5 it is in there on the offensive line, whether it's the first 5, the next 5 that get up, next man up, just doing a great job in the middle of the field, winning the stripe right there as it looks like they're going to come in now to kick the extra point. Daniel Kerr was kind of off to the sideline over here, about the opposite 40, having to put his helmet on and come running in.
Rushing touchdown by Gannon Jacobson, the sophomore backup quarterback. Daniel Kerr waiting on the official. So are we.
Well, he looked like he was going to say something, and then he decided not to.
Not quite the storyteller tonight.
Well, they are stopping the clock after touchdowns? Well, the clock is ran anyway while we wait, and that's kind of what he was trying to do, was reset there. But Wyatt Boyd going to come in for the extra point attempt.
I thought we were just running clock here, too, in the second half, and that is going to throw all the rhythm off, and Wyatt Boyd will miss his first kick after touchdown tonight. 7:16 left to go, 56-0. Southeast of Saline leading it by 6 as we break away here, third quarter on KINA.
Frisbee Construction is a service organization for the commercial grain industry dedicated to giving you the best in planning, the best in quality, and the best of workmanship, and overall the best value for your dollar since 1949. Frisbee Construction specializes in new construction as well as remodel and repair of grain handling facilities throughout the Midwest. Frisbee Construction Company in Gypsum has emergency crews available as needed. For more information, go to frisbeeinc.com.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
A Marshall Motors scoring drive for Southeast of Saline to start the third quarter. Started out the 25-yard line. Big plays in that drive by Amarian Hollab of 19 yards and 43 yards. Southeast of Saline ends up getting it into the end zone on a Gannon Jacobson 1-yard touchdown run. And Southeast of Saline now leading 56-0.
And Wyatt Boyd getting the night off from kicking so much in the first half, and it looks like Malachi Hopkins is coming in to take over the kickoff duties in the second half.
Just trying to plug them all in, play, have fun.
Now's the time to do it. You know, if you're going to get obviously well on their way to victory here tonight, and it's as you run deep into the playoffs, you never know what could happen, who you're going to run into, so everybody's got to stay fresh and stay ready.
See what Malachi can do with this kickoff here. Slight breeze now at his back, and he is going to put this one all the way down inside the 15. It'll take a one-bouncer of 5 yards to Kyler Smith, who fields it at the 10. Smith has a little bit of a crease, but then he is caught from behind, and a flag comes in. Deacon Bear was one that hugged him around the waist and took him down. Then got some help from the rest of his teammates on that coverage team. Now we await to see what the flag is all about. Trojans lead it here 56-0, running clock in the second half.
Microphone must not be working as he blocking the back on Chaparral right there to bring up. That'll take him 10 yards back from where they were at.
That would explain why he was trying to do sign language to get the clock stopped earlier. I was wondering why you would do that if you have a microphone on your hip.
Just a tough question to answer.
I'm all about questions with no answers, Russ.
You got plenty of questions.
Thank you. So the Roadrunners will come out here. They are already on their third quarterback of the season. Second one in this game, it's Daniel Schmidt. And I think we were both impressed with him in the first half. His number's pretty good. He's going to pick up a low snap off the artificial turf and hand it off for a loss of a yard. Drew Weller making the tackle for Southeast of Saline.
Yeah, he was on that right defensive end spot, and he came downhill fast. Just a great inside bull rush. Got rid of the left tackle and made a great open field tackle.
Also in there, Zach Klinda, I noticed, for Southeast of Saline at the tackle spot. Straight over center right now. Back to throw over the middle of the field. Schmidt tried it in the middle, and it's going to be an incomplete pass. Evan Watkins back there to lower the boom for Southeast of Saline. Watkins doesn't play a lot on defense with the starting unit. He does rotate through, so he is in there right now at the linebacker spot. Amarian Hollab playing a defensive back along with Gannon Jacobson.
And Lyric Lilly coming into the game in that linebacker spot as well.
5 minutes left to play. 3rd down and 11 here for the Roadrunners from their own 20. Here is Schmidt rolling around, trying to get away. A couple of Southeast of Saline guys now throws it away, and it's going to be knocked out of there by Amarian Hollab and incomplete. So a couple of incomplete passes here by Daniel Schmidt to start the third quarter. And fourth down coming up, and the defensive unit just didn't change that time for Southeast of Saline. In pursuit of the quarterback was Keaton Blake. Also James Friesen on the chase there. As Southeast of Saline able to force the quarterback's bad throw. Drew Weller also in pursuit. Jacobson will be back deep here along with Malachi Hopkins for the Trojans. 4:17 left to play, third quarter. 56-0, Southeast of Saline. Here's the punt, and it's going to take a left-handed angle. Jacobson catches it on the run to the 42. In traffic, spin move at the 35, and he's going to stumble ahead to about the 30-yard line. And that is going to be where the chain's already set, because that would have been Chaparral's first down. So Southeast of Saline comes out at the Chaparral 30 as Gannon Jacobson gets the punt return to the 30-yard line.
And once again, another great starting field position, as Southeast has only had to run probably less than a handful of plays inside their own side of the field all night.
This defense just continues to amaze. Jared Friesen comes in. He's a freshman lineman for Southeast of Saline. Here's a snap back to Jacobson. Hollop straight up the gut, has 5. Makes a move in the secondary, has 10, and comes down inside of the Case IH red zone at about the 18-yard line. A quick gain of 12.
And now it looks like Gannon Jacobson going to come out of the game, and Tiernan Patochik coming in to run this offense here in the third quarter.
James Friesen also coming in to replace Bryson Lippold. 75 yards for Marion Olive on 4 carries. His numbers look like Grady Gebhardt's tonight. Patochik will take the snap. He'll turn around, hand it off. Right-hand run to Levon Hopkins, another freshman. As the shuffling continues, Tyler Bramblett will come in for Caden Berrigan. You know, we're only one Friesen away from having a hat trick of Friesens out there on the field right now. We have James, who is playing the slot back, wide receiver spot right now. We also have, I think he's still out there, Jared, yep. Here's Patochik, inside of the 10. Tiernan Patochik, the freshman, takes it from the 14 down to about the 6 on a gain of 8.
And a really good read there by the young fellow, Tiernan Patochik, coming in, making a great fake. Had Ian Nicholson pulling around the outside and just followed him right up the hole to get the first down.
Last 2 minutes of the third quarter. First down and goal from the 7-yard line. Patochik flips it out on the wide pitch to Levon Hopkins this time. And that one's going to be stopped for no gain on the play. Second down and goal from the 8 coming up.
Caden Berrigan coming back in for Tyler Bramblett. They're subbing in about every play, and they're on the far side of the field running sprints back and forth.
Hopkins split out wide to the right. Patochik waiting on the snap. He'll take it, put it in the belly now. It's a jet sweep coming around. Jaden Kloster has it. Kloster looking for space. There really isn't any. He might have got a yard on the play.
You almost wonder, you talk about the two Friesens out there, the younger brothers of Nathan Friesen. Don't you have to get them all out there for one play? I mean, we've talked about this.
Yeah, that's stuff that we talk about that nobody else probably really thinks about it. I don't even see Nathan Friesen on the sideline right now.
Yeah, well, you know who else thought about it was the guy back in Studio Central, Big Sam, sending me the text saying, wouldn't it be cool to have all trio of Gebhardts Friesens out there?
Here's a low snap. Patochik's got to pick it up, and he has no chance to scramble around and make something happen as he is going to be dropped down back at the 14-yard line. It's a loss of 7.
Yes, so now you're stuck at 4th and goal from the 14-yard line here, and maybe this is the first chance we get to see if Tiernan Patochik's going to throw the ball, but it looks like we're going to get the end of the third quarter.
And it is the end of the third quarter as we step away. 56-0, Southeast of Saline. You're listening on KINA and watching live stream video on SalinaPost.com, brought to you by Everhart Precision Ag.
You're telling me your driver turns you on remotely?
It feels so good. One gentle touch of a handy remote or mobile app and my motor is running. And don't fret, my little pickup pal. New Image Audio installs these inside trucks too.
Oh, yeah.
You'll want it when the winter chill hits. A remote start from New Image Audio for cars, trucks, even diesels. All systems remote and cell phone capable. Nationwide coverage. Get yours at New Image Audio on South Broadway.
In Salina. It's mid-season, and that means playoff time for the Trojans, 1L Garrettson. The games get bigger and the stakes are high.
Sounds like the real estate game, and just like the coaches are planning for their biggest part of the year, you can make plans for your family's real estate adventures. Maybe you're wanting to invest in a rental before the holidays hit, or maybe it's time to look at upsizing for the kids or downsizing for the folks. Country or town, big or small, one call does it all. Buy or sell, call 1L at salinahomes.com.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
In University, Devin Haney along with Russ Kossel, Brian Dennis providing live stream video on SalinaPost.com. You can watch it there, prepared with the radio broadcast, and just breezed right through that third quarter. Southeast of Saline in the Case IH Red Zone, brought to you by Can Equip in South Salina, right across the street from Marshall Motors and Long MacArthur. Southeast of Saline at the 15-yard line, where they are looking at a 4th down and goal.
And an update quick from the Bennington State Bank scoreboard in 2A. TMP running away from Lardon now 22-0 with 3 minutes to go.
Bit of an upset when you look at records and seedings coming into that game. Pistol formation here. Potacik will turn. Play action. He wants to roll out. He is a lefty as well, and he's going to be intercepted at the goal line. Back the other way. Now come the Roadrunners. It's Ty Hadsel, and Hadsel will bring this all the way to the 17-yard line where he is tackled by Bryson Lippold. An interception there for Tiernan Potacik.
Yeah, really good coverage on the back end by Chaparral. Tiernan really had nowhere to go. He tried to force it in there to Jared Kloster right there right at the goal line, and just 3 defenders around him, just unable to go.
So that gets us underway here in the fourth quarter. This game was 36-0. Southeast of Saline at the end of 1, 50-0 at halftime.
Abilene up 32-6 on Arc City at the end of 3.
Cowboys looking to stay alive in Class 4A. Boy, that game against Wamego last week, they just slid. They were holding on to the number 1 spot in the West in 4A and took that loss to Wamego and just kind of slid like they were on a slide full of Jell-O, Russ.
Yeah, and here's the big update that I think we've been waiting on, and thank you, Sam, back at studio for this. Kingman pulling away now 25-6 on Hillsboro. You almost want it, don't you? Did you want Kingman to win that game maybe a little bit? Maybe just a little bit?
We're going to show up and do our jobs regardless of who it is. At the 17, there's a high snap. Schmidt able to bring it down, though, and he completes it out on the left-hand side to the 25-yard line. Nice little play there by Chaparral. And I'm thinking if Daniel Schmidt is the future at quarterback, I'm feeling pretty good if I'm the Chaparral play caller right there. He was able to put that one on a frozen rope out to Cale Grieve out on the right-hand side. It's a gain of 7 on the play.
Yeah, and he's really looked good the whole time he's been in there. We saw him early. The first play he comes in, he throws a dart across the middle of the field. He hits one right in the numbers of Tice Paff over on the sideline in the first half.
3rd down and 2 here for the Roadrunners from the 25-yard line. Schmidt stringing it out, and that's not going to work against this Southeast of Saline defense no matter who's in there. That time the tackle belongs to Cooper Westhoff. So Cooper out there just stringing that one along until he's able to get the tackle from his defensive end spot. And that will force Chaparral now into a 4th down situation after they lost 2 yards.
It doesn't matter who's out there on the field on this defensive unit for Southeast. You can tell that they pride themselves on stopping the run. They have done it all night, really all year, against some really potent offenses.
4th down and 5 from their own 23-yard line. Schmidt's going to roll out to the right-hand side this time. He's going to throw it on the run. It's going to be deflected by James Friesen. There was a receiver running open for the Roadrunners, and James Friesen in there to knock it away and make it incomplete. Nice play by James Friesen.
Yeah, coming in, reading that play. extremely well. Looked like he was beat off the line of scrimmage, kind of fades back and gets two hands on the football, and it's still able to hit.
We called it, and it's happening, Russ. We have a trio of Friesens on the field. Nathan has just re-entered the game. Jared is already on the offensive line, the freshman. James is staying out there in the backfield with brother Nathan. James is a sophomore. Nathan a senior. And James will be a slot back directly in front of brother Nathan. Tiernan Potachik will take the snap. He'll fake it to Nathan Friesen, and Potachik will take it ahead for about 2 yards. And carrying out the fake, Nathan Friesen continues to come to the sideline, and that is your play of the trio of Friesens. What a cool moment.
Yeah, just we saw it last year, with the Gebhardts, and it's cool to see it now with all three trio of Friesens out there on the field. And, man, it would be terrifying if those three happen to be closer in age together and they all three would be on the field at the same time.
That was actually all three Gebhardt guys on the field when Grady scored his first varsity touchdown at Lions last year. Here's Potachik on the pitch out, left-hand side. Amarian Hollaback in there at running back, and he is going to be strung out by this Roadrunner defense who is getting super aggressive now and lose 4 yards.
It's going to hurt his 20-some yard plus average per carry, but really had nowhere to go. Chaparral still, of course, has all their starters in the game from what it appears to be, and their defensive line is massively oversizing against this second group.
And they are looking to keep points off the board as this clock continues to melt down. Now 7 minutes left to play in this game. Here's Holla back into the middle in a scrum. He gets inside the 25 to about the 23, and a gain of 5 for Amarian Holla that time. And that will make it fourth down for Southeast of Saline.
And Omarion is a part of this talented younger group that we've talked about it multiple times, that this sophomore class is just extremely loaded with talent. So what is coming up in the program for Mitch Gebhardt and this Trojan team is nothing short of keeping it going.
Couple of finals rolling in on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. 4th down and 10. Amarian Hollum's going to pick it up, but he fumbles the ball down at the 5. There's a big pile of humanity down there for it, and Chaparral is going to come away with it. Boy, a 16-yard run by Amarian Hollub, and it is disrupted at the end with a big hit by Chaparral, and the Roadrunners will take over just inside of the 6-yard line. Here's a couple of scores to pass along to you. It is a final. Andale moves on. They beat Hugoton tonight, 46-0. Also, Holcomb leading Pratt, 28-14. Beloit leading Lakin after 3, 50-0. Also, Scott City has defeated Smoky Valley, 51-14. Last check, end of 3. Great Bend over Salina Central, 24-6. The thing with Salina Central, though, I think they have put out as their template here in 2023, you can't ever give up on them. Like, they just continue to kind of stay alive and be those cardiac Mustangs.
Yeah, you saw that last week, and Tyler Henry with the great call of that game that took place at Salina Stadium that you never thought and knew if it was going to be over 2 weeks ago, excuse me.
Yeah, scored at the end of the game, took the lead on a 2-point conversion, then kicked it off, and the kick got returned on him. Just a roller coaster ride of emotions. 2nd down, back at their own 6-yard line here. Chaparral empty backfield. Schmidt's going to bubble screen out to the left-hand side and misconnects there with one of his receivers, Caden Berrigan, the sophomore corner out there on coverage for Southeast.
And Caden read that route very well and kind of upset with himself because I think he had jumped it enough. Maybe if he would have got his hands up, he could have had a chance to pick that one. And if he does come up with that, he takes it to the house. And a good stand right here. We talk about wanting to put, you go through the whole game with 0 on the scoreboard for your defense. You want to keep it that way this last 5 minutes.
3rd down and 9. Schmidt backs up into the end zone, wants to pass. He's going to let it fly down the right-hand side in one-on-one coverage. Malachi Hopkins up as he is right there with receiver Kyler Smith. And that will be incomplete, and a 4th down coming up here for the Roadrunners as we move to the 4-minute mark remaining here in this contest.
I think I'll wait till there's about 2 minutes left before I head down to the field. The wind kind of had died down there, but mean, it's not cold by any means of games that we have called before, but it's cold enough down there.
Yeah, you got the player and a coach conversation. You got to let them talk it out. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Punt formation here from the back of the end zone for Chaparral. Comes James Friesen on the rush. Pressure there on the punter. And it's going to bounce here at the 35-yard line, then take a massive Chaparral bounce all the way across midfield against that Coyote logo. And Southeast of Saline's offense will come out here, and they will take over at their own 48-yard line. Still cruising along here, going through the formality of the fourth quarter. 3:20 left to go in this game.
And now we got another first-timer to see the field tonight. Freshman Eli Olander coming in as a wide receiver on the far side of the field.
This is what makes Southeast so dangerous. You get in games like this, and you get to put your freshmen and sophomores out there playing against the other team's varsity in most cases. And that is really where they learn under fire. 56-0, Southeast of Saline. It's a game that was 50-0 at halftime. 3 wide receivers, left-hand side for Tiernan Patochik. He's going to run a little bit of a read option play here and get buried for a loss of 1 yard. Second down and 11 coming up.
I think overall, though, if you go back and you look at the first half, of course, obviously the scoreboard lopsided, but you talked about it. This defense for Southeast in the first half puts another negative yard rushing attempt by the opponent in the first half once again.
Southeast from their own 43. Going to hand it off here across the midfield stripe. Pick up about 6 yards on the play. Levon Hopkins on the play. 2 minutes left to go. 3rd down and 6 for Southeast of Saline. Southeast looking around the corner for a home game next week against the Kingman Eagles, the team that eliminated them and kept them out of the state title game 1 year ago in double overtime. Patochik, quarterback keeper, gets leveled at the line of scrimmage by leading tackler Dalen Blair, who's still out there for Chaparral. No gain on the play.
Yeah, still out there with all the running mates that started this game. And, we talked about the defense, but we talked about it last week, Devin. You had almost 300 yards of offense in the first half, and you had 8 points to show for it. You had 300-plus tonight and 50 points to show for it. So finishing drives was really big tonight.
4th down and about 6. Patochik wants to throw, rolling out to the left-hand side. A guy in his face. He's going to put it on the receiver, and it's dropped. Incomplete for Southeast of Saline. Jaden Kloster couldn't manage to bring that one in, and that'll move us inside a minute left to play. Southeast of Saline turns it over on downs. That'll bring Chaparral's offense back out onto the field.
That's a good throw right there by Patochik. Had pressure right in his face and kind of on a rope, and Kloster just unable to reel that one in, as it was a really, really good throw under pressure by Patochik, like I said, and he just unable to catch that one for a turnover on downs.
Looks like you can make the plans for next week to be on the campus of Southeast of Saline to see Southeast tangle with Kingman with in the fourth quarter, it's 31-6 Eagles over Hillsboro. Here's a long pass again. That arm that we have come to admire in this game of Dylan Schmidt completes it down the right-hand sideline to Kyler Smith. And it goes from the 43 all the way down to the 16, and it looks like Chaparral is going to call a timeout. So we will take it as well. Back with more Southeast of Saline football on the conclusion of this one after this break on KINA.
Maybe you don't play quarterback or make the highlight reel. Maybe you're not a high school athlete anymore. But just like an athlete, you can get first-class orthopedic care from Saline Ortho. Their doctors and staff strive to get you back to an injury-free, pain-free life as quickly as possible. Saline Ortho has a doctor on call 24/7 for all orthopedic injuries. So next time you're injured, trust the experts at Saline Ortho. Your voice, your choice, past, present, and future. See them online at salineortho.com.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Timeout here by Chaparral after they complete a pass of 41 yards. 8 seconds left to go. Roadrunners obviously looking to end their season on a positive note as they have first down and 10 at the 16-yard line. Three wide receivers off to the left-hand side. Schmidt back to pass, wants to go to the end zone. It's a jump ball, and they're going to get the catch. Touchdown over the top, and 3 seconds left to play as Tice Paff goes up and brings that one in. It's a 16-yard touchdown. Paff now 4 catches, 51 yards. And again, a ball well thrown by freshman Daniel Schmidt. Extra point kick is up and good. And our score now 56-7. Still 3 seconds on the clock. We'll take another break. We'll come back with the end of this one after this here on KINA.
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Late touchdown here by Chaparral as we come back with 3 seconds left to go. 56-7, Southeast of Saline. Just looking to put this one away, get out of here, and then start to prepare for next week. And it is a big one. It should be Southeast of Saline against Kingman. Devin Haney, Russ Coslier. Russ on the field awaiting for the end of this one to talk to head coach Mitch Gebhardt of the Southeast Trojans. See what's on his mind and his evaluation of this contest. First half, I don't think you could play much better than what Southeast of Saline did. They had really 2 negative calls that I can see, and that was a bad block there on Tucker Thaxton's long touchdown. And then they had a drive that they were unable to finish and turned it over on downs inside of the 20. But other than that, Russ, I feel like we're talking about Cadillac problems when you have to nitpick a half that much far down.
Yeah, you're exactly right as that kickoff's going to go and get returned here. But
last kickoff here by Caden Berrigan, and he'll be taken down at the 20-yard line, and that will do it. The final score here, Southeast of Saline wins it 56-7. Southeast of Saline now moves to 9-0 on the year. They will turn their attention to a second-round playoff game next week against the Kingman Eagles, while Chaparral will end their season at 1-7. Coming up, it's the postgame show brought to you by our friends at Commercial Tire Centers. We'll talk to head coach Mitch Gebhardt. We'll have final numbers for you and a couple last checks at the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. That's all coming up. When we come back, it's another Trojan victory as the Trojans remain undefeated, 9-0 on the season, 56-7 over the Chaparral Roadrunners right here on KINA.
Paul.